If you've ever been ready for Christmas, the food, the break, the company, go ahead and hit that like and subscribe button, folks, because we're back. And indeed, it is Christmas Eve. Today, Benzinga's pre-market playbook will be the Wednesday Christmas Eve edition. That's, of course, December 24th, 2025. I'll be honest with you, not a whole lot of news out there today. I did check in with NORAD, and Santa is over Russia right now, making his way to the east. So everything appears to be on deck so far for Santa and his whole delivery route, I guess you could say. Not a whole lot of news out there. It is a truncated day here today. Should be light volume. Really shouldn't be a whole lot going on. So what we're going to do is we're going to make that time fun. It is the best time of the year. Christmas Eve. Benzinga's pre-market playbook, the Wednesday Christmas Eve edition, starts right now. Good morning and welcome back, folks. I hope that you all had a wonderful rest of your Tuesday evening, and it is finally here. Christmas Eve is here. We have a truncated holiday or a truncated trading day here today. We got the Christmas jams in the back. Yeah, we're going to go through the intros with some Christmas music in the background. That's how we get it done around here. I absolutely love it. Wisdom from Hawaii. What is it, Wisdom? Like 1 a.m. in Hawaii or something crazy like that? Wisdom's Joint is his name now. Let's go. Obviously, I'm amped up and I'm ready to pocket some wealth. Best wishes, everyone. Wisdom is first here today, and Wisdom is bringing the energy. He's really kicking it up a notch here with the energy level. I'm all for it. I absolutely love that. Wisdom just pushed all in. I mean, we're ready to go. We're ready to go. Good morning, Wisdom. Merry Christmas. Silver bells are ringing at $75 an ounce. Come on, Santa. I tell you what, anyone that's been on the metals trade, Christmas came early. Santa delivered those outsized returns, it seems. Good morning, Zach. Good to see you again. Zach says, did you know that Tim Cook is on Nike's board? You know what, Zach? I was watching CNBC this morning, too. I did not know that, actually. I understand that Tim Cook actually bought more Nike shares. Is Nike up here in the pre-market? You know, I didn't even look at that here today. Indeed it is. Indeed it is. Nike up on the back of that Tim Cook purchase. We're going to cover UiPath. That's up a little bit here. Good stuff, Wisdom. Let's see. Peter, good morning. Happy holidays. Sun-Kissed Yogi, Merry Christmas Eve. And to you, Sun-Kissed Yogi. Are there any special yoga moves for the Christmas season? That might be a dumb question, but just wondering. You're our resident yoga expert. Good morning. Merry Christmas. Thanks for joining us. Producers locked in as always. Wisdom Joint is popping off right now. Wow. Crimp Biscuit, good morning. Merry Christmas. Wisdom, I can't read all of this. I'm doing my best, but I can't read all of this. You literally typed a novel this morning, which is amazing. What kind of Christmas coffee do you have? Tracy, good morning. Merry Christmas. Good to see you again. Knights Lance, good morning. Merry Christmas. Live to Trade, good morning. Merry Christmas to everybody. I don't want to say it a billion times here, but Merry Christmas to everybody. Carlos, good to see you again. Good morning. Cad Monkey, good morning. Day Trader, good morning. Jane, good morning. Work Life, good morning. Ed Edwards, good morning. Big Heart, what's going on? Brent, Merry Christmas. Jane, good morning. Ryan, thank you. Santa's headed to Virginia soon. Well, we got a whole day. From what I understand, Santa doesn't show up till after dusk. So you've got a number of hours before he gets there, but everything's on track. So we're in good shape. Tenzin, good morning. Welcome back. Bernhard, good morning. Welcome back. Victor, good morning. Welcome back. Just passing through. Good morning. Welcome back. Big Bees, good morning. Welcome back. We will be well, and to you as well. Empyrean, good morning. Merry Christmas Eve indeed. Kevin, good morning. Matthew, good morning. 3D, let's go. 3D, Jingle Bells, indeed. Indeed. Good to see you again, 3D. Merry Christmas to you and yours. Omerica, good morning. Merry Christmas. White Chocolate Mocha, good morning and Merry Christmas. All right, folks, the news is kind of light here today, but we do have some. So let's go ahead and get started with the stock market today. All right, futures roughly unchanged here ahead of the open on this Christmas Eve. S&P futures down 0.03%, the Dow futures down 0.07%, and the Nasdaq down 0.01%. So I guess all they're technically red, but they're all basically close to unchanged. And frankly, it wouldn't be Christmas if we didn't have red and green. So we'll see if we get a red to green move here today. But we're starting off basically at about unchanged. Now, let's go ahead and take a look at some cues from last session. Communication services, information technology, and energy stocks recorded the biggest gains on Tuesday, while consumer staples and healthcare bucked the trend to close lower. The equity markets will be closing at 1 p.m. Eastern and the bond markets at 2 p.m. Eastern today on the occasion of Christmas Eve, whereas it will be shut for the entire day on Thursday. So we're going to close today midday. We won't reopen until Friday. On Tuesday, the S&P 500 index extended a new closing record as the gross domestic product expanded at a 4.3% annualized pace for the third quarter, surpassing estimates near 3.3%, big beat there on the GDP, and marking the fastest growth rate in 2 years. How about that? How about that? Meanwhile, the 10-year Treasury bond yielded 4.16%, and the 2-year bond was at 3.53%. Now, we do have several stocks in focus here for you today, and the first one is an AI name that really hasn't made a big move yet. So we'll see if this is going to have a good 2026. UiPath shares jumped 7.14% after it announced that the company will join the S&P Midcap 400. So UiPath, ticker PATH, up on S&P Midcap inclusion. The next stock on our list is going to be Citius Pharmaceuticals. That's ticker CTXR. Shares climbed 8.65% after reporting better than expected earnings for the fourth quarter. The company posted a quarterly loss of 11 cents per share compared to market estimates of a loss of 43 cents per share. The next stock on our list is going to be Ramco Resources. That's ticker METC. That gained 8.05% after announcing a $100 million stock repurchase plan. The next stock on our list is a show favorite, ASTS. That's AST Space Mobile. Shares were 2.89% higher after it launched Bluebird 6 satellites. We talked about this yesterday. That launch has gone off now. ASTS trading slightly higher here today. The last stock on our list for this Christmas Eve is Multi-Way Holdings. Ticker on this one is MWG, and it surged 62.86% after the Singapore-based company reported net revenue of $26.44 million for the 6 months ended June 30th. That was up 87.65% from $14.09 million in the same period last year. Producer testing me with the face hold there. That's did not have that one on my bingo card, but we made it. Taking a look at the SPY chart here, the Santa Claus rally officially begins today. We've already kind of rallied 3 sessions into today, but the good news here is that the pre-market, it actually looks all right. So we were talking about the futures being a little bit lower earlier. It looks like they've actually traded up a little, or it looks like the SPY has actually traded up a little bit here today. This is what we're looking at. We're basically right at where we were yesterday. As mentioned at the top here, I'm not expecting a whole lot here today in the truncated half session. So I wouldn't be entirely unsurprised if we drifted a little bit higher. As far as key levels, really the only one to the upside are going to be the all-time high, and you could really kind of call that a range. Remember, the actual all-time high is 689.70, and then we had a recent high here that was 689.25. So really that 689 to 690, that's going to be your key upside level here for today. And maybe we break it. I think the only thing that would really be notable here today is that for some reason we were trading on really heavy volume and we were able to break above and close above that level. Perhaps that would be notable for next week, but realistically, I'm just kind of expecting a slight drift up here today. We'll see if it's tradable. I would be looking for trading that. I'd be looking more at what type of big cap stocks show outperformance to the actual SPY, they're likely to keep moving as long as the market keeps moving up. Now, downside levels, if somehow the Grinch shows up here and we're really going to get pounded here, downside level 682.5 is going to be your 20-day moving average. That has really kind of determined a trend for us, so we're definitely going to be watching that level. And if things get really, really ugly, 670. I think it's going to be a wonderful life, though, and not a die-hard moment. So I think we're going to be okay and probably not test any of those lower levels. Now, let's take a look at some insights from analysts here. We've been pounding Dietrich this morning and really all week because he's got a lot of great stats around the seasonal time here, Santa Claus rally and otherwise. Chief market strategist Ryan Dietrich is urging investors to remain optimistic. That is something that we are doing here on this show. Optimism always beats pessimism. There's a healthy pessimism, a healthy skepticism that one can have, but being optimistic and positive is in fact the way. It looks like Dietrich is saying the same thing here. Even as historical data warns that a failed Santa Claus rally can signal trouble ahead. Dietrich emphasizes market resilience despite recent volatility. The Santa Claus rally, defined as the 5 trading days at the end of the year and the first 2 of the next year, serves as a key indicator for Wall Street. Dietrich notes that negative returns during this specific window often foreshadow a difficult first quarter. He points to the previous year as a cautionary tale, where a 0.5% holiday dip preceded a 4.6% decline in the first quarter. It's when Santa doesn't show up that we should be worried, end quote. Dietrich admitted regarding the historical trend. However, he dismisses recent fears, noting that the index erased a 2.6% deficit in just 3 trading days. His advice remains firmly bullish. Quote, "Don't stop believing in Santa will always be my take," end quote. I'm with you on that one, Rhino. I am absolutely with you on that one. Anyone interested in those stats or those Twitter or X posts in the article right there for you. All right, some more news. Again, it was a little bit light here, but we just kind of want to recap everything that's going on. Ed Yardeni, president of Yardeni Research, believes the era of unchecked dominance for the Magnificent Seven stocks is waning, arguing that artificial intelligence boom is poised to benefit the broader range of companies, which he calls the impressive 493. Right off the top here, I don't know if he's right or wrong, but if he is right here, this is probably the best possible scenario for us. A rotation out of some of the mega cap tech names that have had a high degree of concentration. If we get that to spread out to other parts of the market, my take is that it should actually make trading easier. Investing, swing trading on some of the bigger names, all of that should be easier, as we should have more capital deployment to more names as opposed to the concentration that we've been seeing over the year. Speaking to CNBC, Yardeni compared the previous tech landscape to a Game of Thrones scenario, describing the tech giants as 7 independent kingdoms that prospered behind unique business moats. However, the rapid rise of generative AI has broken down those barriers, forcing these deeply entrenched companies into direct competition with one another. This intensified rivalry, Yardeni argues, quote, is going to start to narrow some of the profit margins, end quote. And I'll actually throw this article in there too. I won't read the entire chart, but if any of you are interested in some of these stats, they are in the chart there. The next phase of the market rally, according to Yardeni, will be defined by AI adoption rather than creation. He pointed out that information technology and communication services already comprise nearly 45% of the S&P 500 market cap, making it difficult for investors to justify getting more overweight on the sector. Instead, Yardeni believes the real beneficiaries of AI moving forward will be, quote, everyone else, end quote, in the index that effectively utilizes new technologies to improve their existing businesses, the remaining 493 companies. Now, this is actually not new. This is something that we have been discussing quite a bit. We really want to see what AI does for us. You know, there's a lot of fantastical predictions, or AI is going to do this, and there's just eye-popping numbers being thrown around on investment. And then we've got guys like Elon Musk saying robots are going to stop crime and make it so you don't have to work and save money. A lot of hyperbole being thrown around here on the AI trade. But where those AI improvements actually benefit some of the companies, that's actually going to make for great trading. And I think it's going to be more than just headline tech numbers. Efficiencies, synergies, reduced capital expenditure, reduce operating costs. All of these things should help to improve margins on the other great what did he call them? The other 490. Why can't I find it here? Am I blind? The remaining 493 companies, he called them. Why am I so stupid? What did he call them here? Everyone else in the index. Okay, he had a name for it, but my goldfish brain forgot it. Nonetheless, we're looking for those companies to expand, and hopefully we get some of that news here. To capitalize on this rotation, Yardeni advises looking towards real economy stuff. He continues to recommend overweight financials, which perform well when the underlying economy is solid, and industrials, which are currently benefiting from massive capital spending on building new manufacturing facilities. I also think energy is going to kind of fall into that myself. Despite the predicted rotation away from big tech leadership, Yardeni remains incredibly bullish on the overall market. His forecast for the S&P 500 hitting 7,700 next year, marking a potential fourth straight year of double-digit gains, and projects the index could reach 10,000 by the end of the decade. The impressive, thank you, day trader. God, I'm glad somebody here has memory better than mine. The impressive 493. Appreciate the assist there. After a series of federal and economic headwinds, the stock market remained resilient in 2025, with all three major U.S. benchmark indices advancing over the course of the year. The S&P 500 was 17.74% higher, whereas the NASDAQ Composite and the Dow Jones gained 22+%. Well, the NASDAQ did. The Dow was up 14.27% on a year-to-date basis. All right, next piece of news here is actually going to be on Snowflake. This is one that we have kind of talked about here this year. Actually, you know what? Maybe we should start with the chart here on Snowflake just to kind of set the groundwork for where we're at. Here's what it looks like. If we zoom out a little bit, let's see that this stock has been a really good performer. Obviously, we have a trend line here that we recently hit, semi-recently, about middle of November. This trend line originated from the initial 2020 COVID pop, and this trend is definitely one that we would want to take out. Might be able to challenge some of these higher prices here. The good news about the recent action is that we did pull back to the 200, and although we did not actually print and test the 200-day moving average, we did a really good job staying above it. It does look like the stock is curling here, and we have the 20-day and the 100-day literally stacked on top of each other at 232. That seems to be the next spot here for Snowflake. Now, the news on Snowflake, they're mulling a $1 billion Observe buyout to sharpen AI, which again is going to be a huge theme for 2026. Snowflake is in talks to acquire application monitoring startup Observe Incorporated for about $1 billion. The information reported the potential deal on Wednesday, though the transaction has not yet been finalized. Observe offers a modern observability platform built on a streaming data lake. The technology is designed to enable faster searches, stronger data correlation, and a lower operating cost for customers managing large-scale application data. The reported talks follow Snowflake's recent push to expand its AI and cloud data capabilities. In November, the company acquired data startup SelectStar to strengthen its metadata management and AI-driven analytics offerings. An acquisition of Observe would further extend Snowflake's reach into monitoring and observability, an area increasingly tied to AI workloads and cloud-native applications. Snowflake shares are up about 46% year to date, supported by demand for its AI-powered data platform and rising enterprise adoption. The company reported $1.94 billion in cash and cash equivalents as of Halloween this year. In the third quarter, Snowflake posted revenue of $1.21 billion. That topped analyst estimates of $1.18 billion. Adjusted earnings came in at 35 cents per share, above the 31-cent consensus. Revenue rose 29% year over year, driven by $1.16 billion in product revenue and net revenue retention rate of 125%. Remaining performance obligations climbed 37% to $7.88 billion. Customer spending more than $1 million annually rose to 688. So we'll see if this actually kind of helps its synergies and all of that. Seems like pretty good news so far. For the fourth quarter, Snowflake forecasts product revenue of $1.19 billion to $1.2 billion, implying roughly 27% growth. That's not too bad. The company also pointed to expanded partnerships with Amazon Web Services, Accenture, and Anthropic, underscoring a growing enterprise and AI-driven demand. Analysts remain broadly constructive following the third quarter results, citing strong RPO growth and early AI adoption driving bookings. Obviously, if this acquisition goes through and is actually accretive for them, perhaps those numbers could be even better, and we could be set up for a decent 2026. Okay. I do have a Christmas present here for you. I know we haven't had Tim because Tim is a family man and has been dealing with his family, and rightfully so. But he's made time to join us on Christmas Eve. Before we do that, I have an update to a story that we talk about and we find moderately comical. This is about that outage recently that caused the Waymo to clog up the San Francisco streets. I'm sure you saw videos of it. I know I did, and I immediately broke into a cold sweat because I'm telling you, I don't really have road rage per se. But if I ever got caught behind an autonomous car that didn't know what to do because the traffic light is out, a problem that I have been dealing with since I was 15 years old, learning how to drive. If that ever happened, I would probably lose my shit, to be quite honest with you. I would be so effing angry. I don't even really know. So this story kind of hit home to me because I'm just so glad I wasn't there when it happened. Alphabet, or Google, G-O-O-G, the self-driving cab service Waymo issued an official statement on Tuesday following PG&E Corp's outage in San Francisco. The company said that the sheer number of disabled traffic lights were the primary contributors to the citywide gridlock. Again, this is a relatively common thing that even teenagers are able to successfully navigate. WIS suggests just ram the car like in Grand Theft Auto. Honestly, that's not the worst idea. I should say for legal purposes here, I do not recommend that you ram into anyone else's car. But WIS, I love where your head's at right now. Got to be honest with you. Merry Christmas. The citywide gridlock, which resulted in authorities urging people to stay at home. Yeah, good luck with that around the holiday season when they're trying to go see their family. Remember when you told them not to see their family during COVID? Yeah, I don't think they're going to listen to you because of the self-driving car. Just a hunch. Waymo added that autonomous technology experiencing an outage of that scale was a, quote, unique challenge. Yeah, I'd say. Quote, we are now implementing fleet-wide updates that provide the driver with specific power outage context, allowing it to navigate more decisively. That came from Waymo in a statement. Waymo also shared that the company was enhancing its emergency preparedness and updating first responder training protocols. The news came as Waymo announced it had reached 14 million paid robo-taxi rides in 2025. Earlier, the company had also reportedly reached the 450,000 weekly robo-taxi rides milestone, putting it firmly in the lead amid a robo-taxi race in the U.S., which includes the likes of Tesla and the recently conducted deliveries testing operations in Austin. Waymo is also eyeing an expansion into London next year, saying that it will be working with its fleet operations partner Moove, that's M-O-O-V-E, to secure local and national approvals from the authorities. Waymo will be joined by Baidu Apollo, which also will arrive in London in 2026 via Uber and Lyft. So, Wiss, you've already told me what you would do if you got stopped behind one of these. You just simply ram it. Like in Grand Theft Auto. I'd be curious to know what the rest of you would do if you ever found yourself in this just horrific situation. All right, folks, it's time for your first Christmas present of the day. We're going to go ahead and bring on Tim Melvin. Merry Christmas. How you doing?
Merry Christmas. We are ready. We got our final Christmas shirt on here. This one's kind of stylish. This is the oldest Christmas shirt in the collection. This thing's been everywhere from Wall Street to LaSalle Street and a bunch of dive bars all over the country. We've had this one a while, but it's Christmas Eve, so we've got our favorite Christmas shirt on, and we're ready to go. So what I thought we'd do, Ryan, I've got a couple things I want to try to do. We're probably not going to get away with both, but we're going to try. First off, this is my Christmas present. Okay. We're going to do cheapest stocks in the world.
Okay.
Okay.
Perfect.
And these are long-term stocks positions. Okay. These are not, and these are Christmas, they're ideas, right? You do your own due diligence. We're putting quantitative ideas out there into the universe. What I am going to say is that I used two strategies to come up with this, right? And we went back and we tested it through the historical database. And this kicks the that stuff right out of the overall market. Um, it does better than just about anything, and it's not technology driven necessarily. It's not even U.S. centric at all. They're deep value strategies, and I know that's a shocker coming from me. But we use one based on cash flows, one based on price to tangible book value. Okay. Um, and in both cases, we applied our usual credit checks. And in case you guys don't understand, um, the trick to value investing is that you've got to take out the trash. And I think I've said this before. I say it all the time in public. I'm not sure if I've ever said it in this show. Whether it's price to cash flow or price to tangible book value, stocks that are cheap are out of favor, right? Or they don't get cheap. And often they're out of favor for a reason, right? They could be in industries that are going by the wayside. Think buggy whips, CD-ROM discs, just stuff that nobody's going to use anymore. Um, Chicago Bears merchandise after December. I mean, sorry, Ryan.
First place in the NFC North, boss.
You know what? I'm actually pulling for you guys after that game the other night.
I hope that you are. I'll tell you what, you want to know a funny story real quick? I got some random text for some number that I don't recognize. It's definitely somebody that I've known in my past, but I don't know who it is. And they immediately started talking. They immediately started smack talking right after the Bears won. And I let them have it, Tim. Oh, you'd have loved it. I was all liquored up. You'd have absolutely loved it. I was going off.
Did you get all Dick Butkus on him?
Yeah, you can say I did that. You know what? I am going to snatch that and reuse that too. So good stuff. Let me tell you something. The Bears gear is coming in handy this year.
There you go. Yes, it is. You know what? After that game last week, I'm like, hey, these guys might have a little destiny on their side. That's all right. Cowboys to the Super Bowl. Look, guys, quit smoking that stuff this early in the morning. Come on, save that for after lunch. My goodness. So anyway, but the junk heap, right? You got to avoid the junk heap, and there's a ton of crap on the junk heap. All right. Now, nobody loves playing in the distressed market more than I do when it's fixed income. But distressed equities, nope. Unless you're going for control, stay out of that garbage. All right. You don't have time to play this. So we credit check everything. We're going to make sure that, all right, this company's cheap. It's out of favor. Nobody likes it. Nobody loves it. But they've got staying power. They've got cash. They've got a fortress quality balance sheet. They're not in danger of going out of business anytime soon. These are companies that are probably going to survive. And the trick to doing this is that that's all they have to do is survive. Right? If they just survive, they're so cheap that you end up making money. In this case, lots of money. Now, I love all the theories and strategies and ideas I hear about how to trade the market and how to do this, how to do that. I like money more. And so these strategies make money. They consistently make money. So we're going to do this based on cash flow first. And for cash flow, we use enterprise value. That's commonly shown in screeners as EV. And we use price to enterprise value. Enterprise value as our instead of market cap, because that considers all the debt and all the cash that's in the company. You're really using a measure of all the capital involved in the particular enterprise, hence the title. So we use enterprise value compared to earnings before interest and taxes. That's the true operating cash flow being produced by the business. We're going to pay less than 8 times for that, Ryan. Okay. And we've got to pass the credit checks. And for here to be simple for screening purposes, you just want to use an Altman Z-score and a Piotrowski F-score, and you're there. Now, this has crushed the overall market. And when I say crushed, I do mean crushed. the overall stock market, even in an environment where the S&P 500's been doing really well. And when you came in to this year, and you think about what's done well this year, right? You had mining stocks, you had gold stocks, you had European defense stocks, you had some shipping companies that were primarily the oil and gas shipping business, so you had a lot of businesses that were out of favor at the time that nobody cared about, and as we know, they've done extremely well. So now what we're going to do is we're going to go over here, we're going to click on our filters, and you can replicate this in Pro, the basic search.
Mm-hmm.
I think you can get to EBITDA. But I've got the historical data in this database here, so I'm not using Pro this morning, but you can do most of this in Pro, and you and I will probably do a class on that at some point.
Yeah, we definitely will. And I think the only thing from the list that you mentioned there was enterprise value, but again, I think you can get to that via EBITDA as well. So
yeah, I mean, and that's, by the way, that's on our list of stuff
Yep,
that we're working real hard to get done. So now let's jump in here and let's look at the cheapest stocks in the world.
I'm ready. Let's go.
You ready? Now, we played no favorites, right? Like, I hate China almost as much as I hate Bitcoin, but I didn't rule it out, okay? Because China's been, unlike Bitcoin, China's been in a bull market the last couple of months. But anyway,
Tim's out here throwing daggers on Christmas Eve. I love it.
I'm throwing bombs, man. I'm throwing bombs. So, all right, Lexin FinTech Holdings is a Chinese company. It's an
LXFN. What?
Yes, that is
LX.
LX. I'm sorry. Yes, I'm looking right at it. Online consumer finance platform, technology-driven service provider. Anytime I hear that, I think subprime, but that's just me.
Mm-hmm.
The customers are in the People's Republic of China. All of its revenue comes from China. It is not a large cap company. It's about 577 million. It is currently trading, boys and girls, with an enterprise value to earnings before interest and taxes of 2.68 times. So it is exceptionally cheap, and they have a decent balance sheet. They're not breaking any accounting rules. They're not issuing a lot of debt. They're not issuing a lot of stock
yet.
So, yeah.
I'm just kidding. I shouldn't even do that.
But remember, if they do that, it gets caught up in the F score. It shows immediately. Now, understand that we did this for simplicity purposes when we tested it with a 12-month holding period, which I know is about 364 days, 22 hours and 10 minutes longer than you guys like to hold stocks.
You know what though? You know what though, Tim? I will say that I know there's a lot of comments here that fly around every day, but the reality is that there's a lot of folks in this group that have longer term time horizons. I'm actually continually being surprised. I know on a day-to-day basis, we talk about a lot of the short-term stuff, but a lot of really good long-term thesis and long-term stockholders in this group too. So
yeah, I mean, look, if you don't have money, ready? All right, you're going to make a lot more money in your lifetime from your long-term account than you will from your trading account.
I can confirm that in the first 11 years of me doing this, that is the case that I find myself in.
All right, absolutely. Look, controversial statement. Trading is entertainment. Wealth building happens in the long term. As Charlie Munger said, the markets exist to transfer money from the impatient to the patient. Okay, so long-term, and I'm not going to tell you don't trade. If you like trading and you're enjoying it and you're making some money, or you're enjoying the community, or for whatever reason you trade, if you're successful at it and you're not losing the mortgage payment, then enjoy it, have fun, and Ryan's a great guide for all this. But you've got to have a smart, intelligent, well thought out planning for a long-term investment portfolio. And yes, EKS, it is much more tax efficient. So anyway, that's kind of my bomb here. So you've got to have money in a long-term account. Most of the successful traders I know, Paul Tudor Jones, a bunch of other people come to mind, they're constantly transferring the profits from the short-term trading into longer-term accounts. Every SIBO trader I know has done that.
Yeah, Tim, one of the things that I've done here is when I make, I have a couple of accounts here. One of them has a long-term Apple position, but the trading account that I have, one of the ways I force myself into trading less is by owning some long-term plays in the trading account as well. And the big one for me is Starwood, STWD. And one
Yeah.
of the things that I've been doing is like when I make money off of some of these shorter term trades, I just take a little bit of that profit and I just buy more Starwood at whatever price it is. And you know what? It grows over time. I'm taking profits. I'm rolling it into a long-term profit vehicle, and that's worked for me.
Yeah, and look, I mean, Starwood, Starwood pays a 10% dividend, right? They paid the
Yeah.
same quarterly dividend for 20 some years, so a dividend growth story. It ain't, but this is one of the best collections of real estate and real estate debt assets in the country, and it's run by one of the best real estate investors in the world and his team. That's one that you just buy and you reinvest the dividend.
Yep.
You don't worry about the price, and you buy more on bad days, and you just keep it.
That's one of the stocks where when the price goes lower, I'm like, oh yeah,
Yeah, no,
come in a
exactly.
little bit more. Just come in a little bit more. Just let me get this at a discount.
Yep, exactly. So, anyway, back to our list of stocks. See, I knew we weren't going to get. Well, maybe we'll get to both today, but it's gonna be a struggle. The struggle is real, folks.
Really quickly here before you move on, LX. This is actually a great spot on the chart. A lot of the folks in our program here absolutely pay attention to the chart. Look at this. This is traded all the way back down into a consolidation area. It's holding this range quite nicely. This to me actually represents a pretty good trade setup for whatever time frame it is that you're gonna do. But don't let me slow you down, Tim.
No, you want, but I'll just throw out an aside that I really don't like China. Okay, and I think our biggest global conflicts in the decades ahead are probably going to be from China. All right, unless we can figure out how to get along and coexist in the world. However, while we've all been complaining about China and trade and excursions into the South China Sea, and worried about Chinese property markets, they've been having a really nice bull market since like the end of 2023, while we were all bad mouthing them. So there's probably a lot of great chart setups in Chinese stocks right now.
Okay.
All right, the next one up is come back here. I need my screen. It's going to be GSL, Global Ship Lease. I've known this company off and on for a while. GSL, and it's had a really strong run lately, as you can see on the chart. This is just a shipping company, and most of their containers, they have 60 container ships of various sizes that doing business all over the world. And most of their ships are on long-term leases to Maersk. So,
okay.
Yeah, the global giant in the industry.
The guaranteed income.
Yeah, so
yeah,
6.5% dividend. And here's the thing about container shipping, guys. Global trade, and Brian, we've talked about this on the show before, because everybody's like, oh, global shipping, imports are down, and that's true, okay, to the United States. But when you look at trade between Asia and Europe, Asia and Latin America, Europe and Latin America, it's still really robust, back and forth both directions. Global trade hasn't slowed all that much in aggregate. It's been redirected a bit for now. I have to have hope that'll change at some point. But so you've got a good business that's growing, really decent earnings and revenue growth rates. You've got a shipping industry where everybody's been reluctant to commit new capital. So the ships have a lot of value, and these are trading for less than the value of those ships. And you've got just a really nice dividend. When, by the way, over the last 5 years, the dividend has grown at 30% a year. No guarantee that keeps up. But this is just a nice little Greek shipping company with long-term contracts that nobody's really paying a lot of attention to. And I have to say, as cheap as it is, the stock chart looks much more like a momentum play.
Sure does.
And a value play. And this thing's trading with an EV to EBIT of 3.
What a gift COVID was, driving this thing down to $4. I mean, this would have been just an absolute monster on this one.
Yeah, look, and I love shipping stocks the way that fat kids love cake. I mean, when they get really, really, that's politically incorrect. I'm sorry, but I'm gonna have cake later, so I'll be okay. And there's a book out there you guys should read. It's called The Shipping Man, and Matthew somebody or another wrote it. I have to look it up. You can get it on Amazon. It's a 4-book series, and it's a novel, and it's really well written. It's a great story, but it really outlines the truth of the shipping industry. So if you get a chance, get that one on Amazon and read it. It's very cool. Um, our next stock up, and this is now we're starting to get adventurous, right? This is Valora Energy, and the symbol here is VLERF. Don't use a market order here, guys. This thing trades like 1,500 shares a day. Okay.
And it's on the OTC.
It's on the OTC. So use a limit order right around the last price, check the spreads. But this is solid, I mean, rock solid, fortress level balance sheet company out of Singapore. Exploration, development, production of petroleum and natural gas in really great spots in the globe where peace and happiness reign and there's no risk at all. I'm speaking, of course, of Turkey and Thailand. So, a lot going on here, some global risk, but this is a really good company. It's, great returns on capital. You throw the words Turkey and oil and gas out there and you get some resistance. It's a very small cap Singapore company with a market cap of $631 million. So this was not getting a lot of eyeballs. And that's probably why it trades at 3.5 times earnings. Okay. Now, next up, and this is a Canadian company, and I know we don't like Canada anymore. They're not our friends.
That's not true.
So
don't be spreading rumors out here. We love Canada. We love Canadians. Come on now.
My team's in the American League East. I hate Canada.
Well, okay. Okay. I got it there. I got it. Right. No, the Blue Jays beat down the Orioles. Got it.
They did. That was, you guys shouldn't have done that. Okay. Altius Minerals. The symbol is ATUSF. It's a mining royalty company. It's copper, nickel, cobalt, lithium, potash, iron ore. They're doing a lot of pre-development work around the Canadian area, but most of what's coming in is from mineral royalties. And it's trading at 3.5 times EV to EBIT, so it's extremely cheap. And then
this might be good on infrastructure build out too.
Yes, yeah, it could be. There's a lot of reasons to like that company. There's cobalt, lithium. There's a lot going on.
Yeah, I mean, like I'm looking at this. I'm trying to figure out like what a breakout this was. What a breakout from like 20 and a quarter here on this stock. It's only testing 30. Got to think that there's something else going on there. I agree.
Well, look,
oh my God, that's kind of what I said.
Look, if they're getting royalties, all right, that means they own land that has copper, nickel, cobalt, lithium, and iron ore. I'm gonna bet some money here that there's some rare earth money, that there's some rare earths on this property too. All right, so I see a lot of potential, really interesting things with that company. I'm not paying a nickel for them at 3.5 times EV to EBIT though, so I'm getting all that potential for free. Now, my next one up is I really, really like this company. Okay, and again, it only trades 7,000 shares a day, so be careful with your orders. And it's over the counter, and the symbol is YACAF, and this is Yancoal Australia.
YACAF. AF. Okay.
You got a nice dividend yield here. Now, remember, Australian companies, a lot like European companies, they don't have a fixed dividend. It's variable, going to be based on cash flows. But the price of their core product, coal, has been pretty firm. So I wouldn't fall out of my chair if they had an 11% dividend payout over the next year as well. But they've got coal-related projects in Australia, which means they're selling to Asia. Their company's markets include Japan, Singapore, China, South Korea, Taiwan, Vietnam, Thailand, and other countries that are still building coal-fired power plants. Right? So there is a strong market here. They're doing metallurgical, met coal, and thermal coal. So you've got the steel, the foundry market, as well as industrial and power generation. So a lot of potentially good stuff going on here. Their mines are all over Australia, which is one of the leading coal producers in the world. This is a great stock, a great company. Coal is so out of favor, and particularly in U.S. markets. But you know what? We're still burning the stuff. The rest of the world's still using it. It is part of the energy solution going forward, particularly in emerging markets. We keep looking at emerging markets and saying, you guys need to use solar and you need to use this. We got rich on coal and oil. All right, as a nation, as the Western civilization, and in countries where they're having a hard time keeping the lights on in hospitals at night, you're going to have a hard time telling them, you can't burn coal to solve that problem. So coal demand ain't going away, boys and girls. So I think that's 5 on the cash flow. It is okay. Now, this particular screen does handily beat the S&P 500. And remember something, I'm only rebalancing this in my testing program once a year. If you drop that down to quarterly, you're going to increase your trading costs and friction, but you're also going to dramatically increase the overall rate of return. But you can also just add that, set it and forget it. Now, the next screen is the one closest to my heart because it is price to tangible book value. And this screen crushes, doesn't beat, crushes the overall market, the S&P 500, which is massive returns. Here's the cool part. This thing has a beta of less than 0.5. Chew on that for a second. It's higher returns with lower volatility. And again, coming into this year, hey, you're up almost 40%. So comparable with the Perfect Stocks portfolio that is very heavy on global stocks. But you had a lot of mining companies in the portfolio. Again, European aerospace. You had some oil and gas. You had Maersk itself was in the portfolio. You had some REITs from around the world. And again, with the oil and gas. So a lot of stuff that was out of favor. Nobody was thinking about. Nobody was all that excited about gold as we entered the year. And yet the mining stocks in here are up, 300 and 200 and 100%. So, and we all know the story with European aerospace, right? It's everybody, they had to start spending more money on their own defense. So stocks took off like they were NVIDIA or something. This is one of the most ridiculously profitable strategies. It is 1,000% country agnostic, industry agnostic. Is it cheap? Is it safe? Answer those 2 questions. Buy it. Forget about it for a year, and this is what we've got. So let's take a look at what we would be buying if we implemented this today. Worth noting, our Australian coal stock is on this list. So, but let's just sort this, and we want to get the truly cheapest ones in the world up here. Okay, so here we go. Oh, I love this. Melcor Developments out of, again, our Canadian friends. Mixed use residential company.
What's the ticker?
You would ask me that.
I have to.
Yeah, I know. MODVF. Sorry. A little bit of a dividend yield. Does not trade a lot. Please be careful with this one. Okay. Trades like 1,200 shares a day. So be very careful. But we're trading at a massive discount to book value, right? This is trading at a little under 40% of tangible book value. Book value is going to be raw land in Canada, but residential golf communities, businesses, industrial parks, office buildings, retail, golf courses. So they're just doing a lot of property development, and they own a lot of land, and the land is cheap in the markets right now. And again, with a little dividend, great balance sheet, excellent fundamentals to the business, just an ignored, completely unloved stock worth a deeper look. Let's just see here. Now next one is Genesco. This is a U.S. company. Yay. GCO. Stock is trading around $21. It is a retailer, Ryan. They sell footwear, headwear, sports apparel, and accessories. They've got something called the Journeys Group, Journeys Kids, Little Burgundy brands, e-commerce and catalog sales. The SCHUH, SCHUH, never heard of them, but that's not unusual for me not to have heard of something that targets teenagers and young adults, focusing on casual and athletic footwear.
Sounds like the grandkids don't have that on their Christmas list, to be honest
That,
with you.
that,
Otherwise, you'd know about it.
No, you are correct. And then Johnson and Murphy, if you like good shoes, you've probably owned a pair of Johnson and Murphys in your lifetime. And then Genesco, and that is Levi's, Dockers, and GH Bass shoes. So these guys sell shoes, right? But again, solid balance sheet, very low risk as far as the financials in this company. It's trading at 40% of tangible book value because, as everybody knows, we stopped buying shoes in America.
No, we didn't.
That's right. This thing just took a huge hit on an earnings miss, obviously. But so the stock is extremely cheap, and this isn't an earnings play, so we don't really care what they earned. We care about their balance sheet, the margin of safety, and that appears to exist here. And if you do care about what the analysts think, they're expecting $1.89 in earnings next year. So this thing will be profitable with a pretty low multiple.
EKS says this one's expensive at a 26 PE.
Who cares? Did you hear me? We're not talking about price to earnings ratio. You can't use PE on stocks that trade at low tangible book value multiples. They obviously ain't making any money, or they wouldn't be this cheap. The question is, can they stay in business till it turns around, or they get bought out? So you don't use PE in combination with low price to book. You're going to destroy your returns. Don't do that.
Okay, well said.
Okay. This next one, Ryobi, this is a Japanese company, and your symbol's RYBIF. And again, very lightly traded, guys. Does not trade a whole ton, but it's industrial products. They make really exciting stuff: die castings, builders hardware, printing equipment.
This is the hardware company. This is the neon green and black tool company that you see at Home Depot, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Exactly. My pressure washer is Ryobi brand.
We've got some. We have solar lawn mowers and leaf blowers and all that stuff that are Ryobi brand. So, So just nice little Japanese company, trading pretty cheap, as in about half of tangible book value. But again, guys, limit order. This one does not trade very often at all. Got a little bit of a dividend, about 3.7%.
Okay. Tim, I got a question here on an individual stock that you haven't named. It's likely not on your list.
Yeah.
Can we do that real quick?
Sure.
All right. There are multiple people here asking about what you think about Clorox, ticker CLX.
Clorox, CLX.
Yeah, what about, I'm picking up from Dips, consumer non-cyclical sector is down. There was someone else here, Suzanne, I think, was asking about this. I'm trying to find your comment, Suzanne. Tim, what are your thoughts on CLX? So really no context here from the group, but thoughts here on this being, consumer non-cyclical.
Well, look, my wife has a tiny little bit of OCD. All right. As long as she is alive, Clorox remains in business. That's just how it's going to happen. All right. And how she married with her neatness obsession and married me. It's one of God's it's actually one of God's bigger jokes. But she loves the Clorox products. It's trading at 15 times earnings, which is one of the cheaper blue chips. It's not going to grow, and you need to understand that. What you see is going to be what you get with Clorox. It's going to a little bit better earnings next year, but going out long term, this is kind of what you get. It's going to be flatline. So you're very dependent on what the market is going to do with Clorox. But you're getting a 5% dividend that you can take to the bank. This company's not going out of business. You're not paying an egregious, ugly multiple. At the same time, in the world that we live in, this is an $11 billion market cap. Okay. That's not massive. So who's the big guy in here? And this, I mean, if you're going to do a big deal, this is the time to do it, right? Because this administration is going to turn its eyes to a lot of things that might have thrown up some red flags under the previous administration when it comes to M&A. Procter & Gamble's $334 billion. I'm reasonably certain they could fold Clorox in with a lot of synergy. So I'm not going to fall out of my chair if somebody came along and bought Clorox, because it's pretty reasonably priced here. And the dividend is very attractive. They're probably going to try to raise it a little teeny tiny bit every year, regardless of what cash flows do, because it keeps them on the dividend lists. So yeah, it's nothing dramatic's going to happen here. I don't think you're going to see some huge bounce up to 400 anytime soon. But as a steady Eddie at 15 times earnings, put it in your portfolio. And, if we get in a bad market and it goes down to, 110, 120, buy a lot more. So that's, nothing horribly exciting there, but nothing awful either. And the dividend is very attractive.
Okay. All right. Did you have anything else? Are we good?
Well, yeah.
Are you done
how many
playing Santa Claus and giving out Christmas presents?
How many? No, I've got 4 minutes left, man. Don't pressure me.
You have 8. You have 8. You have 8 stock picks already. And by the way, I'm recording them.
I owe you 2 more. So let's go.
Okay. So I'm recording them. I'll drop the complete list here as soon as Tim is finished.
All right. Okay. Here we go. MGYOY. This is, and this one actually trades, just a little bit, trades about 32,000 a day on average. This is Hungarian oil and gas. They do upstream, downstream consumer services all through Hungary, Croatia, Slovakia, Italy, the Czech Republic, Romania, Austria, Serbia, and the rest of the world. But the stock is trading again at about half of book value, paid an 8% dividend over the trailing 12 months. That's with oil prices at relatively low levels. So it is extremely cheap. We're big fans long-term of the oil and gas business. So there's that one. Now, let's just give you. And then Global Ship Lease is back on that. I already gave you that one. All right, I'm going to give you one. I've owned this stock for a while. You have to buy it when it's below 5. You're never going to make a lot of money on it until the kids decide to sell it. But this is what's left of Leucadia, the old conglomerate, the Steinberg family, and it's Crimson Wine Group. And it is basically a whole bunch of wineries in California in all the great zones and up in Washington State in the major wine growing regions there. It's extremely cheap. The brands are Maline, Double Canyon, Seven Hills, Segisio, I'm saying that wrong, Chamisol Vineyards, Archery, and Pine Ridge Vineyards. Now, the cool part is you do get a discount on the wines as a shareholder, but you're paying 55% book, and the land in the book value was bought years ago. This was once part of Leucadia when Steinberg and his partners were running it, which was referred to as a Manager Berkshire. It was one of my favorite stocks of all time. But the symbol here is CWGI. You buy it.
CWGL.
GL, I'm sorry, yes. You buy it, you tuck it away, you enjoy the discount on the wine. If you're ever in, I think it's in San Francisco, you go to the tasting room and you can visit the vineyards and get other discounts. But the kids own pretty much control of this thing, okay? The descendants of the folks from Leucadia. Eventually, they're going to want to sell. When they sell, remember, the land is on the books at cost. The land is in Napa Valley, and the other major wine growing regions of California. When they finally sell this thing is worth so many multiples of the current stock price that it's really hard to calculate. Again, it's not a heavily traded stock. You want to buy it on big down days, and you just immediately want to forget that you own it. Someday you'll come in, you'll get a notice, you'll get a bunch of money, a big check in the mail for the takeover, and you will think kindly of me and put me on your Christmas card list.
Okay.
Okay. Now we did not get to part 2, so we're going to save part 2 for next week.
Well, I'll tell you what, Tim. We'll just do this right now. Are you available on Friday?
Am I available on Friday?
Day after Christmas.
What time?
Same time, same place.
Same time.
Because here's the thing: if you, no pressure, but my guest on Friday, he's unavailable because of the Christmas holiday, which I completely understand. If you happen to be available, why don't you hop on? We'll do that on Friday. If not, no hard feelings. We'll have leftovers.
Yeah. I think I promised my wife we'd do some stuff on Friday,
okay.
So we got to put that first. But I will come back on Wednesday. This next one, you guys, you like trading, you like long shots, you like things that have potential for a big payoff. Be here, because we're going to show you some things for 2026 that, if they work, you're gonna. I won't just be on your Christmas card list. You'll be naming children after me and grandchildren. It'll be that good.
Okay,
so
that sounds great.
Yeah, this will be, and it's going to be fun. It'll be entertaining. So anyway, there's your 10 cheapest stocks in the world that also have great credit profiles. You buy them, you put them away, you forget them. We come back, we talk about this next year, and you realize that I was right all along, and you shower me with thanks. I'm really looking forward to it.
Okay, that sounds great. You got a whole plan here, Tim. I've
got it all mapped out for you guys, but I think it's going to be great. But anyway, listen, however you celebrate this week, have a fantastic holiday. A Merry Christmas, whatever that looks like for you folks. Have a wonderful holiday. Eat too much, family, friends, all of that. Maybe a little bit of football, and we'll talk again next Wednesday.
Yeah. Well, here's the thing. So the next Wednesday that we're doing this is
New Year's Eve.
No.
No.
There's no show all of next week. We are retooling the show for 2026. So no show from the 29th till the 2nd, as mentioned. We will return on the 5th. So we'll have to do that Wednesday, January 7th.
Okay. Well, I guess we'll be good then.
Okay. All right. Sounds good. Tim, thanks for all of the Christmas gifts here today. And thanks for all of the insight, jokes, humor, and quick-witted things that you say throughout all of 2025. Looking forward to more of that in 2026.
All right, guys, everybody, happy holidays. We'll see you in 2026.
All right, perfect. Now, you're going to hate me, Tim, but I'm going to remove you so you can't come back. We're going to remove the Grinch. Just kidding. And we're going to bring on Santa Claus. Look, Tim's someone that can take a joke, so...
But I am the joke.
Here, now we have the Grinch and the Santa at the same time.
I love the hat. That works. Very nice Grinch.
Timely.
Very, very, very timely. Only if you're going to play Grinch, because you've got green is a Grinch kind of Santa Claus hat there. So, but I'm sure you've got.
What have I done?
I'm sure you've also got some stocking stuffers and great ideas for everybody with whatever's moving this morning. I don't really care what's moving this morning, so I'll check out and let you guys get to it. And again, I hope you have a very happy holiday.
All right, sounds good. Yeah, Tim's not the Grinch, of course. Tim, have a wonderful Christmas. We'll see you next year. That is Tim Melvin, everybody. Okay, really good stuff. Thanks for playing along there, 13. Good morning. Merry Christmas Eve. I, too, love the hat right there. You even got it to cooperate with your headphones, which is mildly impressive.
Promises made, promises filled.
Yep. Ho, ho, ho. Let's go. All right. Was there any stock that you wanted to look at initially, or should we just dive right into the movers here?
We can just get right into the movers, and I'm not expecting too much out of this list today. There might be some movement, but I don't know how long it's going to last.
Yeah, and I think that's a really good. I'm glad that you opened up with that. One thing that I would say is, a day like today, just be careful. If maybe trading in reduced size helps you be careful, maybe just trade less, be careful. Maybe there will be an opportunity here today, but the last thing that you want to do is go into Christmas Eve dinner or whatever your plans are frustrated because you ended up donating money to Mr. Market. So Yassine says he's trading in bed today. That doesn't sound half bad, honestly.
Fantastic.
Yassine? Yeah, it doesn't sound half bad at all. Okay, first stock on the list here is not eggnog, but ELOG. So ELOG is your ticker. This is Eastern International. Eastern International shares are trading higher after the company announced its subsidiary, Juzhou Tyrone Zicheng Construction. That's a mouthful. Construction Engineering entered into a construction contract with Weifeng branch of CSCEC, Southwest Architecture and Design Institute Consulting, for its Hebei Leun 300 megawatt centralized photovoltaic power generation project. That, boy, I'll tell you what, they saved probably the hardest whim for the last day of the year.
Hey,
that
is coming early for me.
Man, oh man, that was wild. Okay, anyway, stock is popping here. Actually went up to about 280. As mentioned, this is a China stock. So do with that what you will here. Stock's moving on what looks like a new, I guess, contract or new contract here for power generation. Quick peek at the short interest on this name. Nothing. I don't think anyone's ever heard of this. 0.07% of the float is shorted with 1 day to cover. The average 100-day volume there, 35,000 shares. Somehow, some way, this thing's traded 13.5 million here today. 2.88 mil is your float. 13, what do you think on this one?
Yeah, so this contract is for basically phase one of a solar project that they've got working on in that wonderful pronunciation of the region you mentioned there. They are profitable. They don't have a whole lot of cash, but they are profitable. So this is not the type of company that I think is at risk of needing to raise capital. It's taken off right now. I'm looking at the chart. We just got support from VWAP, and it's trying to come back up to the 280 high that it put in about 20 minutes ago. Looks like we're about to take that out. So
yep, there it goes. Bang, bang, bang. Literally as we said that. God, that's amazing. That's amazing.
Sometimes timing is everything, but
I mean,
now, I don't know that I'd be chasing this right now. I
don't even know if my broker will allow me to buy this. To be completely
if your broker's going to let you trade this thing, don't chase. Wait for setups like we just saw, where we came back in. We got support from a couple of levels of VWAP and the 9 EMA. It started to turn around, and once we started getting that volume to expand, we broke over the 280. So wait for setups like that. Don't be chasing names like this. They can come right back in. So that's really all that's going on with this one. Got a contract for phase one of a solar farm that they're building out there in China.
Okay, sounds good. That does kind of go in with our energy. I know it's China, but we've talked about energy kind of being a theme for 2026, and it looks like that's already starting here. Next one on the list is INDP. This is Indaptus Therapeutics. Indaptus, excuse me, left out the other T there. This stock popped up towards about 350. So far, it's holding 3. It is beneath the VWAP, but it's kind of consolidating around that 200 EMA on the 5-minute. I don't have any fresh news for this. I don't think. Wait, say that again? Yeah, never mind. I beg your pardon. Yesterday, after hours, looks like they appointed David Lazar.
He is.
He's making his return. He's back. 13. Let's review the David Lazar trading plan for this name. Stock is up 54% here today. The short interest on this name, 0.87% of the float shorted with 1 day to cover. There's nothing there short-wise. On average, trades about 500,000 shares a day. Today, it's done 12 million plus. Floats 1.6. 13. What's the plan here on the Lazar stock?
Yeah, so David Lazar just got brought on board with this company. He's an activist that looks at companies that are struggling and tries to help turn them around. So he does that by investing in them, getting on the board. He gets some of his buddies on the board, and they start trying to turn the business around. The deal with him in this one is that they're going to issue him AA and AAA converts. So that's and they all are planning on going through a reverse split later on. That's something, if you're interested in trading this or you're looking to do anything with this at all, probably be a good idea if you read into making the article about David Lazar being made as the co-chief executive officer. There's information in there I think you should definitely read if you want to be in this for longer than just a few minutes today. If there is even a trade here to begin with. But they are going to plan to go through a reverse split. They are trying to help turn this company around. That it does involve changing the share structure and raising capital. So with those things in mind, just be careful with this one. It might not even make a good trade We'll have to wait and see what we get when the market opens. But I think at this stage right now, because we're still trading beneath the VWAP and we've just started going beneath the 65 EMA as well, it looks like we're still kind of slowly trickling down into the open here. So this is one that I think I'd wait out the open and see what we get once the regular session starts.
Yeah, the other thing here is that this very well, especially if this keeps coming in, this very well may find some support around this 275, which is basically right where the 200 EMA is. So there you go. Feliz Navidad.
And thanks everybody for the cap comments.
Yeah, lots of them in there. Apparently looking good there, 13. The green Santa cap getting it done. Putting the butts in the seats there. So, okay, right. Good stuff. All right. A good breakdown there on INDP already. I like that one a lot more than E-log. Next one here is going to be DVAX. I don't think there's a trade here. Dynavax is being taken out by Sanofi. That's probably the big news here. Sanofi is basically adding a vaccine maker to their portfolio here. So that's what's going on with Dynavax. Congrats if you had this, because this was closed at 11.13 and is 15.50 here today. So you got your big premium buyout, but we'll move on because there's no new trade here. Next is going to be Sober. That's SOBR. This is Sober Safe. This is a name that we've traded a whole bunch off of the relative volume scanner before. We've seen a lot of news drops often move this stock and provide some type of trading opportunity. Well, it looks like that's what we're getting here again. Popped in the after hours, popped again here in the pre-market, really kind of moved higher here in the pre-market. No fresh news on this at all. In fact, the most recent thing in the news feed was December 12th. Not fresh at all. So SOBR looks like this is just kind of moving on, just kind of trading action. And I believe that the float on this one's pretty low.
Yeah.
Short interest, negligible, 0.18%, 1 day to cover. Float on this one, indeed, 1.5 million. So can very easily be pushed around, especially on a day like today. On average, it trades 71,000 shares. Today, it's done 13.5 million. So look for this one to be back and forth here today. You have any levels, or does the chart tell you anything on this one, 13?
It seems like we're coming up to a area of supply from earlier this month at about from like about 290 all the way up to 215. So might
190 to 215. I think you meant. Yeah.
I'm sorry if I said anything otherwise, but that area right there that you're looking at, that's going to be the next supply zone that the price has to make its way through. I like you said, I don't know what's causing this to move right now, but I would kind of lean on this is probably a victim of crack trading, being that it has a very low float, very easy to move around. People know this name, they know what they are. I think that's what we're seeing more of here than anything else. But
I agree.
That above that overhead supply, that's what we got to get through now. And then if we do manage to get through that, the next big area of resistance that I see is not going to be until about 245 to 250.
Okay. All right. Good stuff there on Sober. I'm in complete agreement with you. This is just moving on. Traders looking for something to do. And I think that we could kind of further that, because some of these other stocks here, guess what? They should all be familiar. The next one here is Drama. This is Dermata Therapeutics. This already had some drama here today. $2 to 340, back down to 240. We lost the VWAP in the process. Dermata Therapeutics shares are trading higher. The company announced a $12.4 million private placement. That's your news that's driving it here today. Taking a look at the short interest, 2.79% of the float shorted with 1 day to cover. Comes on an average volume of 192,000 shares. Today, we've done 14.5. The float here, sub 1 million per Benzinga Pro. I can check the float and let you know what's going on there. But super, super low float on Drama. This was the case the last time that we traded that. Folks, if I just switch to an hourly chart, look at what this likes to do. It likes to pop and it likes to drop. So if you're going to trade this, be sure you time it right. Don't be trying to chase something like this. It very, very well could pull back in your face, and that will not make for a good Christmas Eve. 13, do you have anything here on DRMA?
Just levels from the last time we traded it. And interestingly enough, we have already hit two of them. One was 290. We broke through that, and we used it as support after we broke through it on the initial up move. And then there's also a resistance area at 345. We didn't quite get to that. The high that we have here in the pre-market is 336. So, about 9 cents away, not too far, but we are back beneath the VWAP and that 290. So those are going to be the upside resistance levels. And to the downside here, we're going to want to see the 200 and the 65 EMAs provide support. If we lose those, I think we just end up coming right back to the beginning, maybe slightly above it, around 215.
Okay, good stuff there on drama. Next one here, very similar, WLDS. This is another one, common. I might even want to call it an ex-girlfriend at this point. This thing definitely shows up on the scanner quite a bit. Wearable devices shares are trading higher after the company announced a collaboration with Rokid to deliver gesture control for AI and augmented reality glasses. Pretty good piece of news for a wearables company. Stock is ramping here, plus 32%. Looks like it closed at about $1.37. Looks like it's trying to make a dash for $2. Take a quick peek at the short interest on this one's 3.42% of the float shorted with 1 day to cover. That comes on an average 100-day volume of about 500,000 shares. Today, it's done 2.25 million. Float here, 8.6 million. What do you think on WLDS?
I think this company is going to need cash. I think there's that risk there. I didn't go through the news article here about this partnership, or what the valuation is on that, or how soon they're going to be getting money. But they are going to have to raise capital at some point, or earn it in some other fashion. But one thing that I'm concerned about this one is if you look at a daily chart and you look from about, let's say, the middle of December into the beginning of November, there's just a lot of sideways consolidation there that I think is going to prove to be a little bit of a challenge for the price to get through. So that's going to be from about like 175, 180, about where we are right now, all the way up to like 205. That sideways consolidation right in there, that supply zone is likely going to keep the price down for a time. But I think if we get enough volume, you'll push through it. And if we do, then I think this can go to 225, where it's going to meet the 65-day EMA.
Okay, just some guy says, I wonder if the controller that Meta uses for its new Ray-Bans is actually made by WLDS. Do you know? I feel like we would know that if that's the case. Do you know offhand? I don't think it is. I
don't know if this is in the realm of haptics, but it sounds like it could be. And if that's the case, then I don't think it's made by WLDS. I think there's another company that does that. I can't think of what it was, but I've traded it before. I would need to read more into that. I need to find out exactly what these controllers actually do, because if they are haptic controllers or if it's just movement, then I think that I know what company that might be, but I need, like I said, I need to do some more research.
Yeah. Okay. So don't know off the top of the head. My suspicion is that it is not. Okay. Next here, we've got two more that I wanted to mention here. I'll just start with XIII. XIII having a little bit of a bounce back day after yesterday. Remember, it gave back that entire pop. Today in the pre-market, it's trying to trade back up. We'll see if this gets rolling here, but nothing new on XIII. Next one here is going to be RPTX, and this actually had a pretty decent move, right? Closed at about 215 yesterday, traded up to 270 here this morning. Repair Therapeutic shares are trading higher after the company agreed to sell a cancer drug asset to Gilead for up to $30 million. So it looks like selling some of their intellectual property for $30 million in cash. That's causing the stock to run higher here by about 20%. Quick peek at the short interest on this name, 1.18% of the float shorted with 1 day to cover, so negligible, should not affect trading here today. Average volume trades about 550,000 shares. Today it's done over 9 million. Float on this one thicker, 29.2 million, but still producing a pretty decent move. What do you think about the news and the chart here? And I'm going to step away while you deliver that. I'll be right back.
I don't know about the news. I mean, they let's see, they're agreeing to sell the cancer drug asset to Gilead. Okay, so that's where their money's coming from. Looking at their income statement, they just had their last report. Don't know when, but they reported some actual revenue and a net income. So that's the first time in a while, or maybe even ever, that I've seen them do that. So that's a positive. Their balance sheet doesn't look too bad. Got a lot of cash on hand. So don't think that there's a real risk of them needing to raise capital. It doesn't seem like that's the case at this stage, though. They just recently became profitable, so I don't know if they could, end up being not profitable again. Don't know enough about the company to make that determination. But looking at the chart, we did have a rise up to 271. That took us over VWAP, and then about 8 o'clock this morning, we lost it, and we haven't been back above it since. Even though we've tried to recapture it, this has given us a bit of a trend line here off that 271 high. We can just draw a line right there and kind of give it a visualization of where this this breakout may occur if the price is going to try and attempt to recapture VWAP. So that looks like about 260. We could see that happen at. Might not even get that move until after we open as well. We still have about 10 minutes left, a little more than 10 minutes left. So I think this is another one where I would just wait until the open, but it looks like it could be setting up to break back over VWAP. Ryan, I drew a trend line with this one if you want to do the same.
From the top here through, got it.
Yep. So that's what I
did. You connect this recent peak, or were you doing this?
Yeah, no, I the recent peak I would use because on my broker we have that one spike in the middle of it hitting the trend line, but it doesn't look like it does it in Pro. It's fine. I think this is still one I would wait or just watch for a break around that VWAP, because that VWAP line, that VWAP level, I mean, and that trend line are right in the same area for the breakout to occur. So let's see if we get that just before the open or after we open.
Okay. That's basically all I had here for movers. I will cover one that Billy is mentioning here. By the way, thank you, EKS, for doing some of the research legwork there. That's always helpful. Billy here is mentioning Costco. You know what? I probably should have done this on the bigger one here. Let's take a look at Costco here. Costco did get a upgrade here. So here we go on Costco. Starting at the daily chart. We are up by about 0.5% here. Remember, we had recently broke through the 500-day, and we have retested the 500-day. Upgraded to buy from neutral at North Coast. $1,100 price target on that. So that's what's moving Costco here. We'll see if this is the bottom. I know 13, you were waiting for like 800 in this. I mean, this is officially in a bear tape at this point.
Yeah, and you know, I think that what you might end up seeing here with news like this is you could see like a rebound back up towards 875. I don't know if we'll exactly get up there. Might be some more resistance at around or earlier resistance at like 865, 866. But I do think that if we are going to see an up move, we're going to run into resistance between there and 875, as the 20-day SMA is bearing down on the price, I think that could be one of the levels that turns the price action around and sends us back down. So I do expect there to be some kind of a bounce. Look at the RSI. I mean, we're coming off a very low RSI. We get this news, so I'm expecting there to be some kind of rebound here, but I don't think that it's going to recapture some of these higher 800 levels and go on to 900. I don't think that's happening.
Okay. There you go. That is Costco. Costco daily showing a clear stage 3. Day trader looks like he is also waiting for 800 on that trade. Good stuff there. Okay. We keep pushing along here on this Christmas Eve. I didn't really have anything else I wanted to go over. You know what? Live to trade. Let's talk about Path. Let's do that. UiPath. This is a AI-based name. I've kind of mentioned this in the rundown here. This is one of those stocks that really hasn't gone yet. Look at this chart. And actually recently came off this pretty decent level down here, about 12.5, 13. Now it does look like we've recaptured some of these moving average. We're starting to pitch the 200 up. I like that. We've pulled back off of this impulse move. So perhaps this is setting up to make a higher high. That would make a pretty good swing trade. And there's really good news on this today that perhaps will help put in a bottom. UiPath shares are trading higher after the company has announced it will replace Synovus Financial in the S&P Midcap 400. So this stock being included into the S&P Midcap 400, that should cause some more forced buying on this. Mm-hmm. Chart doesn't look terrible here. RSI is kind of in no man's land. Quick peek at the short interest on this name, 13.22% with 3.64 days to cover. Elevated, while not technically meeting our high requirements, but perhaps still that can drive us higher. What I'd really like to see is a move up towards 20 here. That does a few things. First of all, that can help us set the higher high that I'm looking for. That would also push us into the low volume node based on the volume profile. And I'd like to get above this range. I'd look at about 22.5 there. My chart here says 2270. I'm looking at about 22.5. That would make for another kind of consolidation area that we'd need to work our way through here. But I'd love to see a move from 17 to 20 here on UiPath. News seems good to me. 13, what do you think about Path?
I do. I was looking across different time frames with Path, larger time frames, and it does look like this is due to turn up and take out 20. 20 is the big resistance level, in my opinion, with this stock. It's historically been a pretty big resistance area. It was previously a support area from about the end of November to 2023 to the what is this, the middle of May 2024. So this is that's a very important level. I would love to see that get taken out. We did have after some oscillations, we did have a more meaningful golden cross in October, but then I started looking at the weekly, and that's when things started to look a little bit clearer toward the upside. Getting some pretty good support from the $16 level. That was previously resistance, and we just had a silver cross. We're going to get a golden cross later on in the coming months. When we looked at a monthly chart, you could see that there's been, you could really clearly see the multiple attempts trying to get above 20.
Yep.
Still holding above the 20-month SMA, and now the 50-month SMA, which was previously some pretty tough resistance for over a year. So I think 20 is really what we want to see get taken out here. And once we start closing above 20, I think this could keep on going. It could likely make some moves beyond 28. I don't know what the time frame would be on that. Okay. Maybe 6 months to a year, but this looks like it really wants to take out 20. So that would be the first step I would need to see if we're going to see those those higher levels in 20.
Yeah. Okay. Good stuff there. Also really like this here. Just some guy. Appreciate the legwork. This is one of my favorite things about this show and this community in particular. That means you people. One of my favorite things about this is your unrelenting research and help for the group. This is exactly what we were looking for. So EKS, I know that you had said earlier this they do not make they do not collaborate on the Meta sunglasses here. Some more info on that. The WLDS Mudra band uses a slightly different tech than the Meta band. It looks like WDS detects nerve signals while the Meta band detects muscle movement. So there you go as far as what some of those differences are. Other comment in here, Sergeant Sexy is absolutely right. The last 2 years, the Santa Claus rally didn't happen. Contain your enthusiasm. Sergeant Sexy, Merry Christmas. Glad to have you back here. Perhaps you weren't here the day that we talked about some of the stats on this. Santa has never not shown up 3 years in a row. It's literally never happened. So will this be the first year? We'll see. Technically, that Santa rally begins today. We'll see if we end up getting that here today. But I think as a good piece of advice, you should always contain your enthusiasm. Let the market tell you what's going on. What's up?
No, just noticing something here. So one of the stocks we were trading, I don't know, maybe it was yesterday, AFJK.
Yep, that was popping a little bit earlier. Let me go to the main workspace.
It's been sideways for a while now, and I just noticed that the candle we are currently in looks pretty interesting. I'm waiting for a move past I would say 51.50 or 51.25, but this looks like it's trying to go higher beyond 52. 52 looks like the big number it's trying to move past here. I don't know if we're going to end up getting all this, but I just noticed that this has an interesting setup here, an interesting formation. You have the 65 EMA coming up to the VWAP. It looks like it wants to go higher. I don't think there's any guarantee that it will, but it looks like it's going to try to. So at the very least, keep this on your radar.
Okay. Sounds good. Kate Kraft says, thanks everyone for all you do. Merry Christmas, Ryan 13 and everyone in the group. I will amplify that message. I want to thank everybody for joining us here. As we mentioned, we are going to have the show changing a little bit in 2026, but I actually think once we get past the initial change there, it's actually going to be better for everything. We are going to continue to provide you the best possible information, interviews, guests, insights, 13's technical analysis and thoughts on stuff. We're going to try to do it all. We're going to try to do it in a slightly compressed window that also might help us exploit the algorithm better. So I just want to reiterate how appreciative I am for everyone that chooses us here in the morning. It's really, really great. And the thought going forward here is we want to continue to make really good content for you on a regular basis. So really appreciate that, and I would amplify that message. Okay, AI Rod's asking what's changing. The first thing that is changing here is the show's going to be an hour shorter. Now, there's possibility of maybe extending that out to 10:30, but when we start next year, show's going to end at 10 instead of 11. Again, that should help with the algorithm. And then the other big change that you're going to notice, we're going to try to have repeatable segments within the show that can be clipped and all of that. But otherwise, you can expect a lot of the similar stuff going forward here. So there you go. Okay, we're open. Hey, that was really good timing. How about that?
Well done. All right.
I did try that. Yeah, I tried to do that. Yeah.
Let's take a look here. So RPTX, that's moving up to VWAP. Let's see if we can get enough volume to push through the trend line we drew. WLDS, that had 3 down candles going into the open here. Let's see if we can get a turnaround here off the 9 EMA and recapture that VWAP.
WLDS, let me bring that up.
DRMA, oh, that's the, no, it's not the takeover one. That's this one is kind of
Drama's the super low float one.
SOBR, this one. Okay, so I drew a trend line from the 830 candle through the 905 candle, and we just almost hit the price action here. Now we're through it.
Okay, real quick, sorry. Lion, happy birthday to your son and Merry Christmas. You will not see us on Monday. As a reminder, folks, the last show of the year is Friday. Maybe we'll see you then. December 29 through January 2nd, we will not be on the air. This is going to give our producer and our team here some time to try and revamp some of the graphics and things here. We will be returning January 5th. So if you can't join us on Friday, we will see you next year, January 5th.
AFJK, called that. Man, look at that go. It's halted to the upside. What a move.
You did call that, and I'm not in that one. I'm sorry.
Sorry, I got super excited. There's a lot of great stuff happening right now. I just took a trade in RGTZ. That was looking like that was going to take off out of the open. Sure enough, we blasted through 18. WLDS, waiting to see if this one ends up going. I'm not sure if we're going to get too many good moves out of this one if it can't get back above the VWAP or doesn't have the volume. So we'll see with that one. RPTX, here we go, trying to break through the trend line. Sorry, I'm super excited. I need some more coffee.
I don't know that that's going to help. To be quite honest with you. RPTX, this one actually looking all right here.
RGTZ continuing to climb. And it, let's see, because I'm also watching Rigetti here, and I'm just kind of getting an idea of where this might come down to. So Rigetti might come down all the way, maybe 24 exactly, but it looks like 24 and 25 cents might be the support area.
Nike, some continuation here. Nike's moving higher on the Tim Cook purchase. Tim Cook is on the board of Nike and purchased some more shares. Nike is higher here right now. Sober, this ripped out of the gate. Grats if you had that one.
Mel was flagging that before it popped. A big shot.
Nice little bounce back here on that opening pull on Path.
Let's see. Yeah, Rigetti continuing to climb. I'm sorry, not Rigetti, RGTZ continuing to climb the
inverse. Yeah, the inverse ETF there. Yep. Okay, Path pretty good on that dip. There we go. Let's see if we get some new highs here on Path.
INDP, this did go all the way down to the 200 EMA. It's there right now. So big old drop out of the gate there. This Lazar hasn't really quite gotten his footing yet. But
okay.
this could be a support area. So let's see if this ends up reversing the price action.
NVO. This is a little bit of continuation from yesterday. Yesterday we were not able to get through the after hours high from Monday on the news of their GLP-1 pill. Looks like we're going to test that again here. That's ticker NVO. Saidu. This looking like this is going to try and break the pre-market high as well. 205 there on Saidu.
ELOG down this underneath the VWAP right now, currently getting support from the 15 EMA. We'll see if it can recapture the VWAP, but this one, I don't know. I'm not sure if this is going to give us too many good trades. It might come back to 280, but It's looking like the momentum is swinging to the downside for the time being.
Okay.
DRMA, this one kind of coming up to the 290 level I was mentioning earlier. Might have a little bit of resistance around 275 first, but it's back above VWAP. WLDS still trying to recapture that VWAP as well.
RPTX, this is nice through those highs. There is some good stuff happening here. You're right about that.
And RPTX, this looks like we might still get higher into the 260s. I'm looking for 271, that the pre-market high. We'll see if we end up getting it. It looks like the momentum is starting to turn around here with this one, but we need to see some more volume expansion in this one.
Okay, we'll see if the volume holds up. Drama here might be making a move back towards its VWAP as well. That's DRMA, Dermata Therapeutics. And Kathy, you're right. Those biotechs really kind of started off nicely here today.
So real quick, since I've had a moment to catch my breath, what was that news with Nike that Tim Cook is buying shares?
Yeah, so Tim Cook is on the board and he's buying shares. So let me actually give you, let me pull that up here. I can actually read you all of that news here. Tim Cook and Nike is trading higher after Apple CEO Tim Cook, who has served on Nike's board since 2005, bought 50,000 shares in the company.
Okay. Thank you.
And Drama pulled a little bit. We'll see if that breaks its support area. That's DRMA.
Let's see. Did we ever get an unhalt? Nope, not yet.
DJT ripping higher here. Look for yesterday's intraday highs around 15 as the break spot there. Sober at the highs. Great. So whoever's trading Sober here, this would be an example. We kind of talked about this before we open here. This would be an example where I'd absolutely trim into this strength. I would use this opportunity to trim the trade.
Well, I hope I'm not wrong about this, but it looks like RGTZ could end up climbing all the way up to about 1950. We're at 1851 right now. This thing is just ripping out of the gate. So I'll be looking for at least a 19 print, might end up being 1915, because I'm looking at the price action from yesterday. That's created a bit of an uptrend. If I just keep that trend going, that's at 1915 is about where in this current candle where we could hit that. So somewhere in that area, we just keep climbing higher. 1871, 1873, 1874, ready for the turn of the century. Let's see here. Oh, Sober taking off too. 260 now the high.
Okay. AI Rod here. AI Rod here saying, Ryan, look at REGN. That's going to be Regeneron here. At a 52-week high, we saw that in the low 500 months ago. 300-point move there on AI Rod. I wish I was with you on this one on Regeneron, but didn't hold this one. This has been a huge move, though. Congrats. That's a good trade there for 2025. Netajara saying, being a nerd, I wondered how Benzinga can be a popular term like Bazinga. Hopefully that show has run its course and is going to exit the zeitgeist here. That would be a little bit nice. I asked Gemini about it and shared a link of its answer. I would be shocked if Gemini got it. We've been pressing Jason Raznick for as long as I've known him. That basically the story is that this was a made-up word that he used with his grandfather when he was a kid. So he named his company after that. I wonder if Gemini got that in its answer. In any case, F-Jet being mentioned here by Kathy. That was another huge mover earlier this week. Are we getting it again? Getting more Christmas presents with that? F-Jet turning up a little bit here.
Just keeping an eye on some of these other movers. Haven't looked at F-Jet yet. RPTX did backtest the trend line and the VWAP, and it has rebounded off that. We're looking for this to take out, I would say, 265 at this stage. It needs to get above that level. Then you have some resistance a little bit above that, but then we want to see some 275 prints, some new highs.
Okay.
WLDS, this ended up sinking lower, so got rejected by the VWAP. Wasn't sure about this one. It looked like it had a good setup, but even when it was having the trouble with getting over VWAP, I was kind of expressing some doubt. Here we go with this coming back in. Looks like the 65 EMA might catch this thing.
Yeah, and none of this should really be surprising, at least as far as WLDS is concerned. Redwire, after its day yesterday, this is pulling back a little bit. ELOG, one of our movers here for today, this is pulling back as well. Lost some of those levels. I just saw Micron on here temporarily. We'll take a look at that real quick.
Yep, and RGTZ now at 1885. So Marty McFly went back in time to rescue Doc Brown. So now, now we just need to. Oh, there we go. Now we're going forward in time. 1893, looking for 1900 or $19, and then 1915. I mean, we're almost there. This has been a fantastic.
And sorry, which ticket? This is RGTZ, right? Yeah.
XIII running again, fantastic. Let me take a look at that one. Yeah, we hit 210, broke over the, what is this, the after hours? No, it's a pre-market high. And if we continue upwards, looks like you're going to run into some resistance around 215, but it really starts to thicken up as you get into the 220s. So we're coming up to a big resistance area. This is from, you know, all the price action we were getting from when it had that big rally on Monday. So here we are, lots of back and forth into that area we're coming up to right now. So just keep that in mind. We could see some chop as we navigate through this this region from about $2 to 260.
Yeah, and I got VWAP here at 198, so a pullback down towards that 200 level would make a lot of sense. We'll see if the VWAP is able to catch it and then maybe move it higher here. That is going to be XIII. And we're back down to the VWAP here.
Finally getting a little bit of red with RGTZ. That's fine. It had a fantastic run. It's not, you know, selling off by any large capacity. It's just pulling back a little bit. I'd expect this to at least come down to the VWAP, try to find some support there before it makes its next move up. And if we don't get that next move up, we'll have to just wait a little bit longer because
RKLZ, this is the inverse short of Rocket Lab. So if you're looking for maybe a short-term trade on a pullback on Rocket Lab, maybe RKLZ would do it for you here. This is also popping out of the gate.
And it should. Rocket Lab should pull back. It's had a very, very extended run here for the course of several days. I wouldn't be surprised if this came down to, you know, to 70 and found some support around there. Because I keep pointing out, like in October, there was a real struggle to get above 70, and it happened over the course of like almost 2 weeks. And once it was rejected, there was some selling, and it went all the way down to under 40. So that 70 area is going to be a big support. I'm sorry, a resistance turn support area. I think we're going to see support around the 70s if we come in.
Okay.
Hey, Tess.
Yeah, that hat is a winner. I have two Christmas sweaters. I have a Christmas Eve sweater, the one I have on right now, and a Christmas sweater. But I'll tell you what, 13, your hat is stealing the show here today.
Green on the screen and green on my head.
Green on the screen and on the head. Absolutely love it.
All right, a lot of these look like they're coming back in. Oh my God, AFJK it opened, it blasted off again, and it halted.
This is what it did the last time that we took a look at this. By the way, this thing was a massive halt fest the entire day.
And we got
not the entire day, but most of the morning.
We got this mentioned at the right time too. As soon as we opened, we were off. Now it looks like XIII looks like this is trying to push a little bit higher after it still does VWAP. Let's see if we can get through 210.
VWAP entry there. I'm going to have stop right at 2 just in case, but that was decent entry. We'll see if we pop this, go higher than 210. We would sell into that strength. Nike pretty good if you ended up taking that here. Nike still at the highs, reclaiming 60. So nice little $1.50 move there.
Here's E-log that came all the way down to the 65 and 200 EMAs on the 5-minute. This is an area we were looking at that could provide support. It's currently trying to reverse off these levels, but it doesn't look like it has a whole lot of volume, or it just doesn't look like it has a lot of strength to really go higher. We'll see if it does turn around or not, but just watch for these levels, because if we lose these, I think we end up coming back down to where this started, around 150.
Okay.
Looks like SOBR trying to push higher here. There's a seller in the way at 253. Looks like RPTX is also trying to get going here as well. Let's see if the volume continues to expand.
You guys are mentioning Tesla here. Indeed, Tesla not having the greatest Christmas Eve so far. This did kind of a bull trap here, right? Faked by moving up first. Now it's reversed. It is pounding the lows. Remember, we did have a lot of call flow on this name, trying to trade it up to 500. We almost got there yesterday. Looking like maybe we don't test that here today in the truncated session. But Tesla here at the lows. No position for me on this one.
We did get RGTZ to come back to underneath the VWAP. Looks like buyers stepped in and pulled it back over it. Not sure if this is going to try and hit that 19. It still might. I don't think we're quite rolling over yet, but we could be. So let's just watch what happens to that VWAP. Really nice run all the way up to 1893. Let's see what else we got here.
XIII pulled back to the VWAP here. I got stopped on that, but at least made a couple of pennies there. I was really hoping for a move through 210. Might still get it here, but I'll wait it out. AGIO, this got a mention here by Kathy, I think. This also continuing to move higher here. Agios pharmaceutical shares have been trading higher since the company announced FDA approval of its AQ-Vesum. It almost looks like awesome for the treatment of anemia in adults with alpha or beta thalassemia. An exact announced AQVESME will introduce at approximately $425,000 per patient per year. The stock ripping to the highs here. XIII testing 2. And then Judge, good morning. Merry Christmas to you and yours. Hopefully all is well. Wisdom, we will not be getting a visit from Anne-Marie today. First of all, it's not Tuesday or Friday. Second of all, she's in Japan. She will be returning at the first or in early January.
Yeah, I'm just looking at the MACD for RPTX. It looks like it wants to try and swing to the upside. The momentum does. And if we get that, I think that we're going to see higher prints than 271. So just need to see that volume expand here. I think that's
Dara here saying RPTX won't go higher, or it shouldn't. They're getting bought out and will be delisted from NASDAQ in late January. Common share price plus the CVR equals a max of 280.
Okay, so what was the news on this one again? Let's see here. They are trading higher. They sell their cancer drug. So they're selling the cancer drug and then they're getting bought out is what's happening?
They had a private placement here, or excuse me, they sell part of their cancer asset drug for $30 million. This is not one that I follow here, Dara, so I guess give us some more context on that. It might be in the news feed, but I'm not going to go back and search for it at the moment. And also, it looks like XIII maybe chased me from that a little bit early. Let's see if XIII can pop 210 here.
All right. RGTZ, we're getting some movement off the VWAP, but volume seems to be waning. And AFJK is open. It had a higher print of 69.45, still above VWAP, but this thing, man, this thing has got quite a large spread of $5. Yeah.
I took a look at that earlier here. It was scared away by the spread. I don't even know if I can trade it, though.
Well, I don't know that I'd be getting into it now. I think your opportunity.
Yeah, definitely not. It was the one that you outlined earlier, by the way. It was that $52 level or whatever. Citigroup, I noticed that this is moving a little bit higher. We had a gentleman yesterday give a pretty good bull thesis here for Citigroup for the next 2 years. We're seeing a little bit more of that here. If you look on a long-term chart here on ticker C, Citigroup, you can see this stock has just made a monster move. We'll see if this continues. Citigroup, nice move here today, 121. Seeing some more Costco puts get bought on the back of that pop here. So those are the 820s for January, 820 puts.
Sober underneath VWAP and the trend line trying to recapture. We'll see if it can do that.
Palo Alto's coming back in. Bitcoin, by the way, that's lower by 1%. And we are officially in a 1384 handle on the VIX. So part of me wonders if we move to the low 13s before we finally move down. SPY here is a little bit higher. 688.69 is your high on the SPY. High on the ES, 69.67. Bob says bought just one share to enjoy the excitement of AFJK, excuse me. So your broker must allow it then. That's good.
just one share? I'll allow it. That's your broker.
I can see the broker doing something stupid like that.
It's like, oh, well, boss, it's just one share. We let him go? I'll allow it.
It's Christmas. What the hell?
It's Christmas. We'll give him that gift.
UiPath. Oops, that was ASTS. I thought I clicked on Path. ASTS at the lows here, 83. UiPath, this came all the way back into the 200 and tried to bounce. I'd love to see it recapture 17.
Let's see here.
Saidu here back down at 2. Boy, it really kind of flashed that move higher and didn't really give it. Guess your first stop is your best stop. AGIO, this pulled back a little bit from 29.
When it comes to UiPath, I think we want to see this hold above the 20-day SMA. That value is at 1651, so that kind of gives you a bit of a floor there that you want to see. And interestingly, that looks like that was a previous resistance level too. City climb.
INDP, this tried to move up to its VWAP off of that 200 EMA, could not get through it. Looks like it's trying to figure out what it wants to do next here. Currently at 296, you do have the 65 EMA there at 303. Billy here says low floater on watch, so perhaps this moves higher as well.
I don't have any open positions right now. I'm just kind of looking around, and I'm not seeing a whole lot of great stuff at the moment. Some look like they could be okay, but this volume doesn't appear to be sticking around for very long.
Now, I wonder if you're going to get, I wonder if the Grinch shows up here, if you get maybe some more potential moves in some of these inverse ETFs, whether it's the Rocket Lab inverse or the RGTZ that you traded here out of the Open 13. This, only 11 cents away from VWAP. Maybe that's a reload level there, especially if the market does not cooperate. Sure looks like, but looking at the SPY, it sure looks like this wants to push higher here. NASDAQ is kind of at the lows. That's rolled over a little bit. Dow is screaming higher here. So maybe there's a little bit of pre-2026 positioning going on.
So when it comes to the SPY, there's two levels that I'm keeping an eye on. It's obviously going to be the current all-time high of 689.70. But we do have a previous all-time high that was made the day before the all-time high, which is 688.91. We're coming up to that, and we're likely going to hit it today. I could see that area providing some resistance. TVTX points out.
Got it on screen here. This just ripped out of the gate. Did we have news on TVTX?
I don't see anything today.
No, I buy from Evercore on the 18th of December. So that was last week. So nothing fresh here this week. This looks like this is trading higher here, though. Looks like it's just kind of going with the market, to be honest. S&P futures at the highs now as well. You know what? We had data earlier. We were with Tim. We were having such a good time ripping on each other. I don't even think I read it. U.S. initial jobless claims 214,000 versus 224,000 estimate. Continuing claims 1923,000 versus the 1885,000 prior read.
Yeah, I just was looking to see if I could see anything with TVTX. The only thing that I could maybe point to would be that it fits our short interest parameters. It's got 12.35% of the float shorted, 8.35 days to cover. That could be one of the reasons, because I don't think it's being hit with crack trading, because the float's pretty large. It might be, but the float's a little large, I think, for that to get latched onto. But it seems like it's more about the short interest. I don't know what's really moving this. I'm just kind of trying to look for a reason, and I think the short interest might be it, but no guarantee. SOBR, this is back above VWAP, trying to push higher. Don't know if it will.
Daniel says this is a great setup
for sober.
SOBR back at VWAP with lower volume is a great setup there. So this did come in towards VWAP. I have it not actually printing VWAP. I have VWAP at 212, 211 here. It came with very close to that, but did not print it.
I think I'm a little bit concerned about the number of sellers in the way here, from about 240 all the way up to 260. We need to see an expanding volume. Kind of like this.
I got to handle my water delivery here. He's here early. BRB 1 sec.
Okay. And so that's that was that one. Rigetti, that's RGTZ is coming back in. E-log still getting support from that 65 EMA. SOBR we were just looking at. Need to see that volume expand and take out these limit order sellers. Largest one is at 253. Let's see if we can push through all that. There we go, just like that. And it came right back in. So still dealing with that 260 area. Looks like we're starting to get a little bit more expanding volume. Maybe this ends up going. We'll see. E-log, no, actually I just looked at that one. All right, so AFJK just already came back in after hitting 69.45, lost VWAP, halted to the downside now inside the gap. that was created between the first two halts of the day. What else? The Santa run. Yeah, it probably going to see a little bit of that today. We're going to likely see more of it on Friday and next week. Looks like WLDS is trying to get some support and turn around the price action at the 65 and 200 EMAs. Not looking like the greatest amount of volume. Citigroup continues to actually it's come up to a little bit of a top here and going sideways for the time being. But if you were there for the conversation yesterday in happy hour, you might have a better long-term view on this. This could end up being really good over the course of the next couple of years. Big Bear Hug looking at he picked up Nike 65 calls locked and loaded yesterday. Fantastic. You're doing really well then. Yes, Ryan covered Nike earlier. That was in a Tim Cook purchase. And what else is moving here? Looks like Sober still trying to
Sorry about that, 13.
No problem. That 260.
I'll tell you what, speaking of Sober, this is just, I left right when that had happened. This is a really good buy back on that pullback to VWAP, even though it didn't print it. Saidu open line dip.
Yeah, I think we're seeing a lot of slowdown in some of these names already, and it's probably just going to have to prompt me to say, let's look for setups. Let's make sure they have volume. If they're not doing both of those things, let's not try to force anything, because this environment right now can be pretty choppy, and we don't want to not be able to come back here next week and trade some more. Still watching RGTZ. This is still getting support from VWAP. Volume is looking pretty low in a lot of these. Just be careful.
Marcus saying my water is delivered by faucet. Ryan, yeah, mine too. But, the drinking water, I like the filtered water. It's really good. It makes everything else I make with it taste better too. Ryan was bagging on your Nike position. I don't follow. Did you oh, I see. He was trolling Big Bear Hug. Did you cover Nike? Yes. Nike moving higher on the back of the Tim Cook, who's on the board, purchase of 50,000 shares. Marcus is correct, though. I don't necessarily care much for Nike. The kids still love Nike Dunks and Air Force Ones, bro. I don't doubt it, but the reports that I get from some of the shoe heads is that Nike's down the list in terms of what some of those want. Now, Jordans are their own thing. I don't think that's ever really going anywhere, to be honest.
Yeah, I mean,
Sober. So what a call that was. Okay. Unfortunately, was not in this one. So I hope you folks made money on this, but I'll tell you what, this was a really good mention, Billy, and shout out to you for being on this one. New highs there on Sober. You had to be quick. 283 was your high. It pulled back, but a nice little break of that intraday high, SOBR. Congrats to everyone that was on this one today. This is one of the better movers here from today.
Yeah, 260 was the level. It was hitting that for the past 20 minutes. Finally broke through it. Now let's see if we can hold above it. We want to see that resistance turn to support.
VIX continuing to melt a little bit here. 1380. Yesterday's intraday low was 1364. Tesla slowing down, but still on the lows, is really kind of sold off.
I'm looking at Saidu and can't ignore how this has been getting a lot of great support from the 65 EMA. Just need to see this, move away from it now. I don't like it when any moving average or any level gets hammered multiple times. Eventually, the price will fall through or break over it. So don't want to see the price continue to hang out around this 65 EMA. I want to see it reverse off of it and retake VWAP. Because if it doesn't, then it just increases the likelihood that this will fall through the 65 EMA.
Brent, take care of yourself. Merry Christmas to you and yours as well. We'll see you next year, buddy.
Have a good one.
Or on Friday. I'm going to keep saying that we'll see you next year when people announce that they leave. But as a reminder, we're going to be here on Friday.
Yeah, I agree, Zach. Careful with Saidu. I don't like that it's continuing to hang out around the 65 EMA. This is going to be the big test for me. If it loses it, then I think that we need to just look at something else. It might get support down around 175 where the 200 EMA is, but need to see this move away from the 65 and retake that VWAP.
All right, Fred. Good morning, Fred. What do you think next will do? I think that will probably go up and down.
What will it do next?
NXXT is what he's asking. I gave you a smart-ass answer because I don't know what this company is. Next Energy. This is actually a fairly decent move here. Let's see what this company does. Friday short hours. No, Friday is a full day for the market, Voodoo. And our show will be the normal hours here. We'll be done at 11. And that'll be our last show that goes to 11. No Anne-Marie after that. This NXXT, this is engaged in developing integrated ecosystems that combine solar energy generation, battery storage. So maybe we'll put this on the battery theme for next year, 13. Smart microgrids, wireless electric vehicles charging, and on-demand fuel delivery. So actually, just kind of now just knowing what this is, we kind of think that batteries and energy storage might be a theme next year. It seems like this stock would fit into it. I'm not very familiar with it. Float about 45 million, 223 mil cap. I would imagine that this is good in 2026 if our battery theme takes off like we think it will. But again, I'm sorry I don't have anything else for you. I'm just not familiar with it. Nice day today, though.
Yeah. Really interesting news over the past week, and they're really leaning into the necessity that or the necessities their company would provide in light of that San Francisco outage. I don't know if you saw any video or pictures of that, but the whole town was just absolutely dark.
Oh, I sure did. In fact, I covered that story because the Waymos didn't know what to do with the traffic lights that were out. Yeah. And Waymo this morning had an update that said they're going to update their software to account for that.
Okay.
So, okay.
Is it going to turn the power back on? How does that go? Anyway, I'm being a smartass.
I don't know. Hey, Staff Sergeant Ryan. Oh,
hey,
it is good to see you. I haven't seen you in a long time. Welcome back. Ryan, my man, Merry Christmas. Had to jump on mentioning BA with a possible reverse head and shoulders starting back in September, looking to confirm at 225, then drop to 210, then up to 235. Can you see it, or am I just looking for a miracle at this point? Funny that you should mention that, Staff Sergeant Ryan. I don't think you are crazy. I actually think Boeing might be good in 2026. Mm-hmm. Looking at this chart here, you think one of the things that you're talking about is the inverse head and shoulders starting back in September. Let me actually go to a daily chart here so we can get a better view of that. And we'll see what it, oops, come on. All right, so starting in September, I'm thinking that this is kind of going to be the left shoulder, this is the head, and then that right shoulder might form out here. Well, so there you go, 210 support. If it really kind of holds that support and then moves higher, we actually have a target here in a 250 handle. Now we'll see where this is if Boeing does take this out, but I actually think Boeing is going to be a positive in 2026. So I don't think that you're hoping for a miracle. This sounds pretty good. I think with the defense spending, this is going to be pretty good. They had more orders for their planes. The problems should be behind them. I like Boeing. I like Boeing for 2026.
Yeah, I agree with that. I think Boeing's going to do well next year, not just with the F-47, new NGAD that they're building, but the Whisk segment of their business that is the eVTOL. I think that's going to continue to do well. And of course, there's a lot of military applications that there's continuing to be tapped for. So I like Boeing going the next year. I think they've got a lot of tailwinds. The big level I would want to see recaptured is like 225, 226. That's a big level for me. You have the 500 week SMA at 227.65. That's going to be another big area I think we need to get recaptured here. But we just started trading over the 20-week SMA this week. So we recaptured that. Need to hold above that as well. I do like Boeing for 2026.
Okay, good stuff there. Real quick, Big Bear Hurt saying, careful with Boeing. There's a new negative news about toxic gases leaking into the cabin on 737. I saw that a little bit. I haven't seen much follow-up on it. I'm not sure what the actual cause of that is. I don't know that it's necessarily a defect with the 737 line. That's really what we would want to kind of avoid, right? We wouldn't want this to be a problem on a lot of the different planes. I don't know that that's the case, Big Bear, Big Bear Hug. So I don't know yet how systemic that's actually going to be. Carlos is asking, Ryan, do you still have Ondas? Yes, I will have Ondas for, I can't tell you when I will ever run out of it. My plan is to hold at least 1,000 shares forever. I started with a lot more than that when the stock became a penny stock again, and I doubled up my position. I've been selling on the way up quite a bit. 4, 5, 6. The one thing I did do is that the calls that I sold ahead of its last earnings print, I actually bought those back when the stock was at 7. I sold the 6 call. I got premium that basically made my price average 670, and then I bought it back when it was 7. So I lost a little bit on the sold calls, but obviously I outgained it on the actual stock itself. And by buying those calls back, I did not give up my shares at 6. So I opted to hold on to more of my shares going into next year.
Wisdom doesn't like Boeing for the because of the state that it's in, and I can understand that. They've already got a pretty big headwind with the refinery they're shutting down this year, or is it next year? But they're shutting down a refinery out there, and that's not great.
Yeah. Really quickly here, Zach saying tariffs. Apparently, many U.S. companies front-loaded before the tariffs took effect. So in 2026, we might start to see some impact. That's up to you if you're going to take that trade. I'm not trading against that. A lot of the predictions about tariffs have been flat out wrong, and I'm just not going to do that. If it changes and we start to see a theme and there's a tradable theme on that, then I'll look into that. But I'm not trying to front run that here. If you go for it, go for it. But that's not something I'm going to try and do.
Regarding Salesforce, we're still in this consolidation area.
That's CRM, right?
Yeah, that we've been in since pretty much the whole Liberation Day unwind. It's kind of been back and forth for the most part. Good news is that we did recapture the 200-day SMA. We've been trading above it for quite some time now, and we have the 50-day SMA coming up to meet it. So we could end up with that golden cross to follow our death cross we got in April. So that's what I'd be looking for next. There's also going to be some pretty good resistance around 275. You can see from the price action in June and July, that was a big resistance level. And once rejected, it came right back down to the bottom of the sideways consolidation channel. We haven't been up there since. So I think when we do revisit that 275 level again, we're going to see some pretty good resistance. And if we get enough volume, we might be able to take out that and the 500-day SMA.
Okay, good stuff there. Thank you, 13, for the CRM chart breakdown.
Mm-hmm. Saidu still good to hold for 210. I mean, this is a company that
Saidu made it through 210. This was what I was waiting for on the first attempt.
And I don't know that would be holding on to this for the long term. Maybe it's going to be good, but I still think that they need to issue those shares with the capital raise that they announced. Didn't they announce I thought they announced they're looking to sell shares. I don't know if they've done that already yet. They announced the pricing a $25 million offering at $130 a share. So they haven't sold that yet. So we haven't had the dilution of the share structure yet. So I don't know that I'd be getting into this right now. Might be a great trade if you're only asking for a day trade. 210 was like the breakout spot. Don't know where this is going to end up. Let me look at a chart and I could probably give you an idea. Looks like we still have the 500-day SMA to deal with. That was one spot we almost ran up to on Monday.
As far as the trade, because I did trade this already today, as far as the trade here, I was looking for a break of that 210 to the upside. Now we're getting it. So we ended up not getting it on the first initial move and the first pullback down to the VWAP. Stop me if you've heard this before, but it looks like we actually pulled and held the 65 EMA on the 5 as the support level. Probably should have been paying a little bit more attention. Recapture of the VWAP helped expand the volume, bang right through 210. I don't know where the stock is going. This is where I would have viewed, if I was still in this from my initial trade, this is where I'd be selling into it, just kind of selling into that strength. So I don't have a long-term hold outlook on this. As far as the short-term trade here, got it a little bit late, wasn't in it, unfortunately. Matthew says Boeing is going to be big in 2026. There you go, Ryan.
Yeah, the whole thing with Saito I was mentioning earlier about the 65 EMA, this is exactly what I wanted to see. Get away from that 65 EMA, retake that VWAP, we're gone. That is every time that we come down to a level that we've been, kind of harassing in the pre-market and going into the open, it really increases the risk for it to break down. So really good to see that we reversed and took out that VWAP, and now we're making new session highs.
So there we go. Register rings all around for those that were on Saidu. Really good stuff there. And Ed here, sorry, 13. Ed said, I just wanted to say I've been following you folks for about 7 months, and the wealth of knowledge I have gained at times has been amazing. Thank you. Merry Christmas, and you're welcome. And that's what we're trying to, that's why we do this.
Oh, absolutely. Thank you. And I was going to mention RGTZ. We finally hit 19, got as high as 1906. Still looking for a little bit higher print. We haven't quite touched the trend line that I drew here yet, but we are so close. So close.
This was a really good mention and trade out of the gate, 13. You know what I ought to do? I ought to just develop an algorithm that whenever it hears you mention RGTZ, it just buys it. I mean, honestly, it's like every time that we start talking about trading this, you've got the levels pegged. The thing just, this is a really good move here today for this. So
I don't want to be like, oh yeah, we should take a look at RGTZ as it's going down and at bottom.
And then all of a sudden, I'm just buying hand over fist over here automatically.
Yeah.
All right. Also here, Santa Claus rally. It's happening. At least so far, it's happening. Here we go. 689 coming here on the SPY. Robert, good morning. It's great to see you. Merry Christmas to you and yours. Hopefully you're doing well. And hopefully we see you in 2026.
We just barely pushed past that previous all-time high of 688.91. That next, the other level before we make new all-time highs, 689.70. But let's see if we can continue to hold above 688.91. Looks like we are going back and forth between it now.
Tesla here does look like this is kind of the sell-off, at least has slowed down here. We'll see if this tries to take another leg down. Looking at the unusual options here, there seems to be traders on calls and the put side on this, so I can't determine a direction just from that.
Yeah, Jay, that's a great mention. ASTS, sell the news. It had its launch today, and now it's selling off.
It was interesting, too, because that was just kind of a drift up into that. We're basically at the pre-market lows from yesterday. You're spot on with the sell the news. Robert says, for sure, I've got stories to share next year. Ooh, they call that a tease in the business. I'm here for it, Robert. I am here for it. Market at the highs across the board. SPY, Dow, Qs, all at highs here today, folks. Saidu, by the way, looks like 220 was the top there. It's pulling back. We'll see if it gets any support at VWAP. Robert likes Broadcom as a buy. Robert, you like that for all of 2026?
RGTZ hit the trend line.
Like I said, just need to develop an algo. Here is AVGO. See if that moves back to the highs. Robert, do you like this for 2026? Yes, he does. All right. There's another 2026 favorite.
I certainly like this one too. Could it still see some lower prints? Yeah, I could see that, but I'm not sure we're going to see a whole lot of price action beneath 285 if it gets down there.
Love this work life. Thanks, Ryan and 13. I did a few trades over the last few weeks, made some nice gains. So now I'm a member of Benzinga Pro. Welcome to the family. Thanks for a wonderful show and Merry Christmas. Right back at you. Merry Christmas to you and your family as well. Welcome to the family. Also, remember, folks, I know I talked about we're not going to have the morning show just next week. We'll be back on January 5th, of course, but the happy hour chat room is open 24/7 in Benzinga Pro. 13 is a moderator of that chat room. And you can always join our community in there. So good to have you on Work Life. Good to hear that you're finishing up 2025 with a bang.
And we would love to see you in Happy Hour the next time we have it. The next show or the next meeting will be in January. We're not going to have any more for the rest of the year.
Correct.
It's Monday the 5th, right? We're having our next one.
Yes, January 5th is the next Happy Hour, and the next I was going to say the next show, but we're doing it on Friday.
Zim suddenly getting a good lift here. Don't know if they've.
Well, remember, there were rumors about a potential buyout on Zim, so I wouldn't be surprised if we saw this kind of action more than once.
I was just going to say maybe somebody else made an offer too.
Nothing I saw in the news here. Real quick here, Wisdom, Ryan, on a personal note of gratitude, you helped me heal from my brother's death this year. Gosh, I had no idea I was even doing that. I'm terribly sorry for your loss.
Yeah.
But I'm glad we were able to provide at least a little bit of light during an extremely dark time. And I remind you of him. So he was a good guy, you're saying. I'll take that. Again, I'm sorry for your loss. We're glad to have you here. And 13, you've always brought out my red meat eating skills. So there you go, 13.
I'm glad to help with that.
Omer, by the way, this is one that you guys were talking about. This did pop into a halt. What happened on this one? It's open now. Maybe this goes higher. What's going on with Omer?
FDA approved.
FDA approval. First and only therapy. Okay. And Dara, this was one of yours, wasn't it?
Me?
I'm not even going to wait for her to answer because I'm pretty sure I'm correct about that. That's a massive, massive win. This stock is up 83.5% here today. OMER. Congrats to anybody in this one.
I'm
trading it now might be a little tough. It's a little spread, kind of all over the place, but yeah, boy, let's go, Dara. Let's go. Oh, it's a good Christmas, folks.
Is the Santa rally real?
I mean, it's here right now. I left out milk and cookies, so I'm just saying I did my part.
We leave out tacos and margaritas here.
Robert,
we're one of his last stops.
Robert says, I still like XIII long-term.
Oh,
That's a shipbuilder. Goes on to say, it's kind of funny Trump named his own class of ships, though. I laughed. I'm sure there were a lot of people that really didn't like that, but I thought it was great.
Yeah.
That was hilarious.
Yeah, Robert, you're absolutely right about Huntington Ingalls. We've talked about this one a lot. I think this is this is pretty much the biggest naval shipbuilder for the United States. So it's kind of like the best in breed, but I agree. This is going to continue to get a lot of work. And all the other shipbuilding companies that we talk about frequently, I think they're going to continue to see work as well.
Netflix is trying to bounce here. Still don't know how good I feel about that in terms of a swing on Netflix. No day trade position on that either. And here we go with OMER. It looks like this might try and push higher. I would caution you to be very careful if you were not already in this one for a new trade. It is volatile all over the place. Pretty decent spread, but maybe we make a move back towards those highs. Let's see. OMER. Good news there, FDA approval.
Hi ho is putting in a new low. Oh man, I had to. Sorry.
I'm not pissed about it, to be honest with you. Kind of like it.
I wish I could follow it up with the whistle, but I'm not very good at whistling.
Yeah, neither am I. I was going to say, do you ever have a family member that was able to put their, and it's so loud? I'm like, how do you do that? I've never been able to do that. Really quickly here, Wisdom saying he left out bourbon and edibles for Santa. So if Santa doesn't make it to your house, you know where he got bogged down. If
he's going to straight up fall out of the sky. Be careful with that.
I was going to say, let's not get Santa all liquored up and stoned. Thinking about it, I'm glad you're here. CNBC this morning listed they did a poll and they listed their top holiday movies. And I'm going to give them to you in order here. Top holiday movies per CNBC and its study. Home Alone, number 1. And I couldn't agree more, frankly. Elf, number 2. I know there were a lot of folks in here talking about Elf and how good that is. The Grinch, number 3. It's a Wonderful Life, number 4. And Die Hard rounds out that list at number 5. So take that, thinking about it. Die Hard, absolutely a Christmas movie. The people agree. Oh no! Oh man! Now I'm whistling hi ho, not the earworm I needed. Oh, poor Tess. We're out here trying to help people. We just made Tess's Christmas Eve worse. Way to go, 13.
That's all my fault.
I'm just kidding.
Michael, appreciate that.
Help me out trading. I am a lifetime member and grateful to belong to this group. I hope that you have a great holiday. Right back at you, Mike. Thank you for your service as well. And absolutely, we will have a great holiday here.
G. Rice was mentioning the big moves all came from the mid cap type names, not the mega caps. LEU, LITE, SNBK, NBIS, MUCIN, etc. In 2025. So are you looking at maybe seeing some more continuation in those names? Because I think we talked about how mid caps could continue to do well next year. And we don't want to be shorting any large caps going into next year either.
You guys, how is Christmas vacation not on that? I'll be honest with you. That is the one gripe that I have about it. That would be the one gripe that I have. Sorry, Jane. Jay says the list is rigged if it doesn't include that.
That's a really interesting take from Joe Schmo there. Tombstone is his favorite holiday movie. You know, as I recall, the movie ends with Kurt Russell and I can't remember the actress's name, but they're dancing in the snow. So is that where we get the holiday, the movie experience from with that movie? Because Tombstone, man, that's in the Arizona desert. So I don't know that we're going to see a whole lot of holidays out of that, but I can't knock it because that's probably my favorite Western.
Path reclaimed 17 as well as the 65 EMA. Maybe this makes a move to the pre-market highs. That's UI Path.
Die Hard, you've never seen, Jane Smith?
You know, that seems you need to do that this year, I think.
That's my mom's favorite movie. Die
yeah,
Hard.
it's a great one. It's a great one. That's going to get watched tonight. Home Alone earlier this week. Die Hard tonight.
Excellent, Jay. I'm right there with you. And Ryan, I think that goes along with what I was saying about Rocket Lab performing really, really well next year. And you know, Jay's saying he's looking at mid cap space and drone do better than the Max 7. I think I agree with that. They're going to be hot sectors next year as tensions heat up. Yeah, you know, I'm going to be watching some more movies with my kid. One of the ones that I started calling an educational film is iRobot. I wanted him to see that because I was like, you know, a lot of people are drawing some serious parallels from this movie to where we are right now, and I, thought it would be good to show him that one. But it's not a Christmas movie. Yeah, you know, it is sad, Marcus. But that's just what happens when we get old. At least he's still with us.
Yeah, and it's dementia, right? For Bruce Willis, it's super sad. It's not even just Bruce Willis; really, anyone that's affected by that, super sad.
You know, Jay, I don't know that I like ASTS like I like some of the other space names. I have some real issues with that company and its valuation, and I guess its technology. So I'm not really big on ASTS, but there are some other space names I'm absolutely on board with. Rocket Lab being one of them.
Hate to be a buzzkill. What do you think about the VIX? You're no buzzkill. Ain't nothing going to bring us down on Christmas Eve vibes, that's for sure. As far as the VIX goes, we've been talking about that quite a bit recently. We do think it's going to bounce here pretty soon. We're initially thinking maybe 14, but 13 almost certainly. I don't really see it getting much past a 12 handle, to be honest with you. So it's great. We're in this little Santa Claus rally. It looks like so far we're getting it. We'll see what Friday brings, but I would be expecting a VIX pop in the near future. Give it a couple of weeks, I would say.
Oh, Jane, we watch that every Christmas, and we watch the Halloween one every Halloween. Absolutely, Charlie Brown Christmas.
Oh, absolutely. Yep. You're not alone in that one.
Yep. Favorite Christmas movie is Elf. I mean, Big Bear Hug. It's just a classic, an over the top classic. Looks like RGTZ still wants to push higher into the 19s. Keeps moving up. Now, if we start trading over this this trend line, we might end up seeing the 20s.
Kava at the highs. Guess I would not have guessed that. Kava at the highs. WLDS, boy, oh boy. This now it's stopped. Maybe this reclaims the 65 EMA and goes. WLDS gave everything back.
It went right, yeah. It went right back to the closing print from yesterday.
Yep.
So now that that's all done and over with, you can turn around and recapture VWAP.
Puked out all of the traders that were trading.
Yeah, exactly.
TZ, this is another one of those inverse ETFs for the quantum names. This also at the highs here. So it looks like quantum not participating in the Christmas rally.
Maybe after Christmas they'll come back, but I'm not going to bank on that. Speaking of banks, Citigroup.
Is that continuing?
Yeah, it might be. It might have found a near-term top for the time being, but because the momentum, it looks like it's slowed. But 122.24 is now the current high, and it opened under 120. Yeah. Yeah, exactly, Joe.
Some of the inverse ETFs looked like some of the best traders here. Market also, I know we were talking about that trading up here. That took a little bit of a break. I actually wouldn't be surprised if that was it for today. In fact, the high print that I have was 689.22. We had talked earlier about the key level, the all-time high being in that 689 handle. I believe it was 689.20 to 689.75. So it looks like we're basically right there setting up for a possible pop above that on Friday. I wouldn't be shocked if this just kind of plateaued here into the 1 p.m. close today.
We are interestingly getting WLDS to start to turn back up. Need to see. I mean, all the EMAs we look at, they're kind of right in the same area. So if it recaptures all of them, then all that's above it is really just some levels in VWAP. So let's just watch and see what happens with WLDS. Maybe it comes back up. Volume's very low, so I'm not going to hang my hopes on it, but I'm watching. All right. Well, what's looking interesting right now, because it seems like there's not a whole lot that's going on right now.
The WLDS that you were just talking about, I really think 145 is the spot there. Just kind of from looking at it, I think if it gets above that 145, which is the 200 and the 65, I think maybe that's where it goes there. Mm-hmm. Take care of yourself, Daniel. Merry Christmas to you and yours.
Merry Christmas, Daniel.
Jammin', Merry Christmas. And everyone, really.
Oh, yeah.
Merry Christmas. Happiness vibes all over the place. For anyone that's out there that plays Tarkov, of course, it was officially released not long ago. The Christmas event started this morning, so you can go collect ornaments and build your Christmas tree in your hideout. I'll be doing that later today, no doubt.
There's a lot to know in that game.
Yeah, it's something else, though. It is something else. Yeah.
MRK, I like. I'm already in it. I've been in it. I like Merck. Looking for I'm looking for like 120 at least.
K-Craft, no, I have not. I don't rush through stuff. I play it with I am not much of a video game grinder anymore. A lot of the video game playing that I do is done with friends. It's more of like a communal hangout that happens to have a video game as the backdrop. So I often don't rush through it. Just got my thick case the other day, though.
But yeah, we have MRK that had a golden cross last month. It's since climbed through the 500-day SMA. Resistance I see to the upside. We got some that we're pretty close to. I think 107. I'm sorry, 108 is going to be one of them. Another one is going to be 111, and then the 120, where I'm looking to take profit. I don't know if I'll be completely out of it, but I'm going to likely start selling around 120.
Repo is fun as a hangout game. Okay, that's good to know. Tom says the Bears 49ers game is going to be a good game. That's going to be the game of the week.
I had a request to buy Repo for my sons. They want to play that game. So
what is it? Break it. What is it?
I don't know. I haven't played it.
Oh, okay. I guess maybe I should look that up.
But I've been hearing about Repo. I know some people have played it. I don't know.
Ultimate cooperative horror game.
Yeah, horror games are kind of like a big thing these days. It's kind of
wow, not my thing.
I mean,
but
scary movies are boring to me. So maybe there's some.
Yeah.
I could find some life in it there.
I don't like having manufactured startling. Like I don't like that. Like
jump scares.
Yeah, I mean, it's not even really scary because it's all fake, but it's startling, right? They use different tricks and shocking things to start. I just don't like that. It's never been enjoyable.
G-Man, you're talking about the cup with handle that we've kind of formed from the end of November.
Look at this bounce in ASTS.
Did it hit a support level? If you back out, you'd probably see where that support was.
Let me try to get a little longer term chart here, see where we actually bounced from. Consolidation area, but yeah, maybe.
But here's the thing about Merck. It's not a cup with handle unless we get some more pullback from here. We would need to form the handle. Right now, we've just got a cup, and if it continues to break into new highs, then we have a scallop, not a cup with handle. We need to see that handle formation first. But they're both bullish, so it looks like this is going to go higher anyway. AMCI, nice move. I don't look at that.
ASTS, just kind of looking at the intraday chart here, it really looks like the 65 EMA was the support there. And EKS, this is perhaps the most important comment here of the day. The Powerball, 1.7 billion. I bought tickets yesterday. So let me tell you something. If I win Powerball, it is going to be the most merry of Christmases. I will say, I'll make a commitment to all of you now. I will continue to work here and do the show. My responsibilities may change a little, but I will continue to do this show just because I like it so much. And Benzinga and its growth is an important part of why I get up every day. But I'll also say this. We will do a Ryan-funded show meetup in Las Vegas in 2026 if I win that Powerball. And I will keep you guys abreast. I will get a room block at Aria and Caesars and wherever the hell else you guys want to stay. And we will party like you've never seen before. But I have to win it first in order to do that.
Will there be prizes daily on the show if you win?
Sure. What the hell?
All right.
What the hell?
See how I negotiated that for everybody? Yeah, Big and Bees is wondering drinks too. Is everything?
We don't go for a blowout party in Vegas for it not to have drinks. That shit will be open bar, boss. I'm going to give you a head bobble. I'm so confident in that. I'm in. All right, good. Oh, that's funny. That's funny. Fingers crossed for the Powerball, folks.
Looks like SIDU is it had a little bit of sideways consolidation. If we get some more volume right here, we could push into some new highs, but we just need that volume component and to get through all these sellers in the way. Looks like it's got a decent setup though. We just need to see the volume.
Ryan went dreaming there for a bit. Yes, Zach. As a matter of fact, that's exactly what happened. How about Bears Super Bowl tickets for everybody?
Can I say
that? I don't even want to. I don't even want to play with that because I feel like I'd be jinxing myself. Let's play that one by ear. Let's play that one by ear, Nick. But Wisdom, I will answer your request. I'll buy chicken bakes for everybody.
SOBR, this losing VWAP, this breaking down now. MACD indicates a momentum, a swing to the downside. Let's be careful with this one if you're still trading it. This one almost hit 3, but now we're at risk of losing the trend line and VWAP here. Still got 2 minutes left in the candle, so it could come back up, but let's keep that in mind.
I'll be honest.
Lots of stuff coming in, actually.
Pretty awesome so far that this is held above VWAP. This might not be done if it's able to hold that. That's SOBR, by the way. Take care of yourself, Jane. We'll see you on Friday.
Have a good one, Jane. It looks like some of these, several names are selling off here. Not just that one I was looking at.
Omerica says, could I buy Benzinga and be your boss if I win the Powerball? Yeah, you could. You could do that. Up to you if you want to, but I'm sure you could do that.
that comes.
This is the longest I've been sober in days. Nice job, Nick. I like that.
Oh, geez. Well, I'm not a fiduciary, Vaughn, but I appreciate that. I'll probably, consult one if I'm going to be doing that for you. But I'd be up for the challenge if you're down for me doing it. This is the longest I've been. I get it. Yeah, I'm looking around for something here, and it just seems like the market may have fallen asleep, or just decided that now's the time. Well, we did just hit 10:30, so volume just decided to make for the door. I'm not going to expect too many, big moves from here on out. I don't think that would be a really wise expectation. With
the Grinch stole Tesla.
Oh, geez.
Oh, that's funny, Marcus. We had the last time we looked at Tesla, I had said it looks like maybe it's slowing down here. Yeah, no, another leg lower. Now, not a huge leg lower, but another leg lower nonetheless. AMCI, that was another one that moved recently. We're getting a boom ski. Oh my God,
this was that
right about that.
This was that former SPAC that's now XIII Robotics. 1095 is going to be your, is going to be your 200 day SMA. That looks like it could be the near-term resistance area. Also, $10 is the SPAC price.
Marcus mentioning a double top here on the market. Marcus, is that this what you're talking about? It would actually be a triple top, wouldn't it? This is kind of where we're at now. Let me know if this is what you were referring to. I guess I should say first, but this is something we kind of thought this was going to happen when we come up to the 689.70 level. We knew that this was going to happen. With us being day one of the Santa Claus rally, hard for me to have any position other than we break this as resistance and move higher.
Still a slow melt up.
Yes, Knights Lance. We did look at Omer here today. It was a little late to that. Credited Dara on that one because she, I just don't know, has been all over that for a while. Huge move up there today in OMER, and actually saw some call buying on that as well. So it looks like there might be some continued positioning in that post the news.
Rich Tech Robotics moving up.
I'll check on Rich Tech Robotics. I wanted to see how Serve was doing now that we're, a week or so past the short report. Here's what your Rich Tech chart looks like. Looks like that's been busy here today. Here's Serve. And if we look at the hourly here on Serve, tell you what, that short report did kind of hit this. Stocks lower. Actually, looks like this might want to test lower as well. In the back of that. Bear Cave did that one, by the way.
Yeah, I'm not seeing.
Got it, Doris. Sometimes I just have to guess. I don't want to assume, but appreciate that. I will not get it wrong. Sober here, still above the VWAP. Boy, this thing is being pesky. It is trying to hold above the VWAP. I gotta say, I think it's probably not done as long as we stay above that. I would really like to see the volume kick up again, though.
The concern for me is that it's now beneath the trend line. Need to see it recaptured. It's getting some support from the 15 EMA, but we need to see that volume come back in here and recapture that trend line, start closing over it. I mean, it's just really a lot of slowness at the moment. I wouldn't be forcing anything.
Yeah, to me, it almost looks like hands off probably for the rest of the day here. Now, the rest of the day is not that much longer, right? It's 10:37 here. Market closes at 1, so we're not even talking about a long time.
Yeah, and there might be people who are just already like, yeah, you know what? This is about good for me. I'm done.
I think a lot of those people didn't even bother clocking in here today, right? They just said, it's Christmas Eve. We got cooking to do, parties to attend, booze to pick up.
I think Wisdom, you might be in a very small camp. Not sure that's.
Yeah, I wasn't going to touch that one. I'll be honest. He's definitely by himself in that. Now, I do have a lot of Stephen Hawking's books, some of my favorite. I've read The Brief History of Time. I must have read that 3 or 4 times.
brief history of time is going to be how long I stay around Wisdom's house if he's got that in the corner.
Yeah, that I don't blame you on that one. For sell, okay, couple of questions here. Number one, sell Heideck. Heideck. Does the sell part of your name, does that stand for check engine light? Just out of curiosity. But also regarding your comment here, big day for dividend payments. What are your favorite dividend stocks, and which of those are paying out here today? Take a look at that.
Did Tim speak about Energy Transfer lately? Because I'm waiting for another down move in this, and that's when I'm going to be interested in this next year. It looks like this is having a real tough time trying to stay above 16. I'm looking for a breakdown beneath 16. So if I get that, I'm really interested in this.
Eric, Merry Christmas. Take care of yourself. Thanks for joining us here today. Enjoy your holiday. All right.
Merry Christmas, Eric. And anything looking good? Everything looks slow right now. What's up?
No, I saw a not safe for work meme that made me chuckle.
Oh, okay.
Federal health programs will cover up to $500 worth of CBD for certain patients by April. That comes from Trump official Dr. Oz. So why CBD then? That should be good for this one. And look at that. Why CBD on the back of that news? Okay.
Look at Zim. That just took off. What's going on here?
Omerica says, if my husband had to leave a life-size Stephen Hawking in my house, I'd have sufficient grounds for divorce. Oh, that's fine.
I guess
I tell you, you guys are doing great here today. Just doing absolutely wonderful here today.
Finalize rescheduling by the end of January. So, but here's the thing: is that going to even,
Saidu maybe more here?
Is that going to even change the illegality of cannabis? Because the rescheduling is just a component of all this. It's one part that needs to happen. It's a great step, but we need the Safer Banking Act. We need this to not be illegal if it's going to if we're going to get the moves that we're anticipating. It's not enough.
Yeah, I think you did a really good job outlining this. Really, that Safe Banking Act is probably going to be the next big catalyst that really drives the entire sector higher. That would be my guess. Veggie Girl saying, I missed what Ryan said about the news. News here is federal health programs will cover up to $500 worth of CBD for certain patients by April, and that came from Dr. Oz. Judge, Merry Christmas. Take care of yourself.
Merry Christmas, Judge.
Okay. So CEL stands for Selena, which I think is a very pretty name, by the way. Not check engine light. Guess I probably should have gone with that one first. That's one of my favorite BMW license plates I ever saw was CEL space ON. And if you know, you know.
Born, which stock were we referring to with the 280E? Was that ET, or which one are you talking about? Let me know. I just like ET because they're gonna be providing a lot of energy to not just America, but different companies as well. I think pipelines are going to be, somebody was already mentioning that. Weed companies. Got you. Okay. I still think there's that whole illegality component, but that's good information. Thank you for letting me know about that. But yeah, as far as midstream pipelines go, I think they're going to be busy next year. They're going to probably, and ET is also involved in storage. So if we run into refinement capacity issues, then they're going to be full. I think midstreams are going to do well next year.
Matthew, Merry Christmas. Take care of yourself. We will see you on Friday. No doubt.
EKS, I think that's a missed opportunity starting on April 1st and not April 20th. Why would they do it on April Fool's Day? It's like a bad time joke. But I think you get what I'm saying there.
America says, I actually use CBD to keep my dog from having seizures, which is miraculous. Yeah, I would think so too, man. If I was in that position, I would do anything I could to stop that from happening.
And I agree with you, Born. That I understand that some states allow it, but yes, it has to be federal. We need to get the federal levels to work in cannabis's favor. We're not there yet, but once we are, cannabis, I think, is going to be great.
The thing that I would look at, just as kind of a general thing, the state legalization, that's basically only good for individuals purchasing, right? Because they're probably not going to get harassed, arrested, and have, their stuff taken away. For the stocks to work, 13, that's a much bigger picture. And I think you're exactly right. The federal level is really going to determine that. The federal legalization, and then the ability for these customers to bank like normal companies, that's going to be what really moves the stock more so than any of the individual state level or statewide things. And I think that you can use that type of thought for any trade on any news headline that we have in this sector. If it ties back to the banking and the allowing these companies to get on a traditional bank and do their business through that, or federal legalization, I think you can see a sector-wide move. Otherwise, probably just a lot of the same that we've seen out of some of the pot names.
Yeah. I love the conversations in here. I mean, you can tell that we're at the slow part of trading.
I am on Christmas mode.
Yeah, we
already.
are totally on Christmas mode right now. I love all the comments here. You guys are funny. Legal here in
like
Nevada.
Every time I see ELOG, the ticker ELOG, I think eggnog. Like, it's not even really that close, but that's just where my brain is at right now.
Well, remember, if you really need to, look at something, that we do have NOG, which is Northern Oil and Gas. So if you want to look at ticker NOG, there you go. Let's take a look at this now that I've seen this. See how this is doing. You start with a joke,
and you get to looking at a chart.
Yeah, this looks
you are a trader, my son. I mean, come on.
This also looks like this is going to go lower as well. I mean, that $20 level, we're in a descending triangle as far as I can tell with NOG, and I think that $20 level is going to be the breakdown spot. But this one also looks like it could be good next year following that breakdown. I still like how Colorado and Washington were the first two states to legalize it. And later that year, they had a Super Bowl. And it was a Super Bowl, if you get what I'm saying. The meme was too good. They had Dr. Evil going, Super Bowl.
Lasers.
Freaking lasers. All right. I'm looking at that's
I'm checking the Twitter streets to see if there's anything that we may have missed.
Thank you for that info, EKS. All right, looks like SOBR is not looking too good right now. We're breaking down here beneath the VWAP, coming down to potential support areas around 225, but I think this might have a date with the 65 EMA. Wilds, WLDS, wearable devices, this continuing to make new session lows. ELOG trying to turn around. And RGTZ back above 19.
K-Craft says, what Twitter streets do you like to venture down? So I use X Pro. I can actually probably share this here real quick. Let me see if I can do this real fast. Here we go. So here's what my Twitter streets look like, FYI. So I use X Pro because this is one of the reasons to pay for it. Frankly, this is worth it just on its own. And then I create columns that are separated by topic. So I have obviously my home column, my mentions, but then I have columns for sports, stock guys, Wall Street, natural disaster. That's what you see on the screen here. Tech. I have my own profile. I have some cash tags that I follow, some more individuals that I follow on there, which I rotate in and out. So when I say Twitter streets, this is what I'm referring to. X Pro really kind of allows you to pick and choose how you want to segment the information. So again, the two different columns, or the many different columns just are basically different subjects. And I'm able to very quickly kind of find out what's going on there, as well as having the home column just obviously scroll in real time. So this is what I mean by that. I use it for everything from funnies to stock ideas. I have a lot of stock traders that I've been following for a decade plus on my stock traders list. I have natural disaster and tech news. So I kind of separate it, making it easier to use. Yeah, Big Bees. It started off as TweetDeck. You're right. It used to be free. TweetDeck actually stopped working for a long time, but now it is actually called X Pro.
EKS. That dividend's going to end up climbing if we continue to go lower here. And here's what's great about potential upside for this. The short interest of this one is 34.5% with over 9 days to cover. So potential short squeeze in the future here with NOG. I'm glad we looked at this one. Started with a joke. Now it's real.
Yeah, see, K-Craft saying, that's sick. I like it a lot. A lot of times I find myself just scrolling and I see that. Exactly. So one of the reasons I kind of break this out, it actually defeats the doom scrolling. Now, the problem is that I don't have this on my mobile device. So if I'm away from my computer, and I run this on my laptop as well, but if I'm away from my computer, I get sucked into that too. I'm so used to getting information that I like scroll more and more, and then I realize, like, dude, you got to stop doing this. Like, this is kind of a waste of time. Bourne says, Ryan, Elon should give you a kickback because I'm signing up. I'd be very curious as to your feedback on if you like this, Bourne. You're someone that you follow a lot of different stuff. I think this would be helpful for you. I'd be curious to know how you use that.
Shady, welcome. We did have some pretty good movers this morning, but we are getting to the point where it is really slowed down. Actually, we're already past that point where volume has left the market. It's much slower now, but yeah, we did have some really good movement out of the gate in a lot of these names. Some of them might come back, but remember, we do have a shorter day, and we might not get some of these movers to return because there won't be much of an afternoon.
And it does really kind of seem like things slowed down a little bit here. Kudos to the group for finding a couple of opportunities right there out of the gate. A couple of really quick short trades. Tracy, have a great Christmas. Have a Merry Christmas. Sorry it wasn't all that great today, but there will be plenty of other days out there. Knights Lance, Merry Christmas. Take care. We'll see you hopefully on Friday, if not next year.
Yeah, I have no positions right now. I think I'm done for the day. It's been a really good morning, and I don't want to make my green morning red. See, that's why I wear green.
Yeah, I'm with you on that. I'll tell you what, the power of the green hat that you brought it here today, 13.
Tom asking, how do you think we'll do Friday? Busy or not? I think we could end up seeing something similar to today, where it's just a very short period of time where we get some movement, but then it's just very, very muted for the rest of the day. That's what I'd be thinking. I don't know if it's going to end up happening like that. There's certainly going to be people not participating in Friday's price action, so it could be another liquid day. It could be a lot like we've seen earlier this week. Just another one of these illiquid days.
Yeah, I would expect not a lot going on. I would guess that we'd have a very similar drift like we do today. So, yeah.
Jay, we have, yes, we are kind of trying to not just move supply chains away from China when it comes to drones, but source from different countries. And right now, there's a couple of names that are really interesting that are coming out of Ukraine, which is, that makes sense from coming from them because they're currently engaged in drone warfare. If you're going to, get a real use case, company that makes drones, it's going to be one of them. And I know that we just talked and looked at one of those names that is a Ukrainian company. Maybe it's on my drone watch list. Hold on a second. But that's what I've heard. Yes, we are trying to move away from the China supply chains and trying to either reshore or outsource in other countries that we consider friendly. You look at
I actually think that might not matter all that much. I think the thing that's really going to affect are some of the consumer drones. I think the military just won't care. They'll just buy whatever. Jesse, good to see you again. Merry Christmas. Woke up early thinking I'm going to pick up a few things at Wally. Bad idea. It's a madhouse for beer and wine. Yeah. I'll say this, Costco this recent Saturday, even though I get there at like 9 o'clock sharp, it was already busy. There were very, very clearly people, very, very clearly people loading up for the Christmas holiday. There was a lot of booze in the carts, so I am not surprised at all to hear that Christmas Eve is jammed. Merry Christmas, JJ. Thanks for everything this year. Have a good one. Bernhard, likewise. Graf, likewise. Don't forget to V-wrap your presents. Let's go, dude. There we go. There's a trading joke.
Yeah, I think there's a you know what? Hold on a second. I think I know what it is. There's a drone company that is in Ukraine it's not public, but it's private. Let me see if I can. It's in my notes. I know I wrote it down. I've got a whole watch list for drones that I'm looking at here. It's a pretty long list, so I don't know if it would do too well in the chat. Let me see if I can fit it in there.
Marcus, let me know how that goes for you, Marcus.
Okay, this might work. There you go. That's on my drone watch list right now. The two OTCs are kind of interesting because they involve one is Drone Shield. I'm sure you can get an idea of what that is. It's a anti-drone they make anti-drone systems, and then Electro Optic, the other one. That is that could be not just for drones but also for robots. It's optics and sensors. So I think that's a pretty decent list. I know there's more we could put on there. Let me see if I can.
Well, I think you probably want to keep that strictly to the drones, right? Because the optical sensor list we want to keep separate from that.
Yeah. Just trying to see if I can find where I wrote that down. Andril's one of them. But we know they're going to be coming later. Gosh, where did I write all this down? I'm sorry, it's going to take a moment here.
No. Don't be sorry. EKS loves that you actually use paper to take notes.
It's just easier. That's all. I'll figure it out in the next few minutes. Give me a second here.
Okay, order is in. Looking for a good fill on January meta calls. The chart is gorgeous. If the puff pastry for the beef welly suffers, so be it. Oh, Tess, have a Merry Christmas, Beef Wellington. That sounds pretty good. Hopefully you get your fill there on meta.
Well, I found the two names I was looking for. I don't think they were the Ukraine names, but a couple of IPOs to watch out for. Several. Andril, we already know about. Shield AI, that's private. Keep an eye on that one. And then Epirus, E-P-I-R-U-S, Epirus. This is an anti-swarm. So it's basically they build a high-powered microwave system that can fry electronics of a drone swarm. So playing drones on one side, great, but we also want to make sure we have the anti-drone or the UAV. What is it called? There's the counter UAS.
Counter UAS.
Yeah. So
unmanned aerial systems.
Yeah, there's in that list there's a lot of them, both sides of the coin, and Boeing's in there as well. So do the research, but I think D-Pro, do I not have it in there? You're right, I don't. That's why I was saying it's not a complete list, but I'm going to add.
No, but that's great. And you know what I'll do, 13, is I'll actually update the list that we have here at Benzinga that uses the communal watch list for drones. I'll update it with all of these because I think there's several on here that are not on that list, and I could just make that change today. Mob would be another one. MOB. That was also not on there. It's a good mention there, Jay.
But I been ever since that Ukraine blew up those Russian submarines with the underwater drone. That I think that was a real boost to the whole drone theme again. So now I'm looking more into some of the submersibles. We already talked about Kit and how that could potentially be a good one, but there's some others on there that also do submersibles. I think CODA is one of them. Let me double check that.
Robert here saying it's IIRC is relatively easy to guard against. Directed energy, not sure how effective it will actually be. I've been thinking about this too. Can't you just like reflect some of that back? I don't know the specifics of it, but I'm kind of on the same page. I would say I'm cautiously skeptical about that. 13, look, it's we're out of time here for today. Enjoy your Christmas Eve. We are going to go to the story trading folks who are just as dedicated to this as anyone else out there. They're here on Christmas Eve to do some trading. We're going to move over to them. Do you have any closing words for our group?
Folks, it's been a wonderful 2025 with everybody. I hope everyone has a wonderful holiday, stays safe, so that we can all come back here and talk about our Christmases and what everybody got under the tree. I'm looking forward to seeing you all on Friday if you're still here. And if not, I'll see you next year. Have a Merry Christmas, everybody, and Happy New Year. I'll see you later. Bye-bye.
All right, 13, really good stuff. Everyone loves the hat, universally across the board. Really great. Merry Christmas to you. We'll see you next year. Indeed, looking forward to all of that. Folks, we're not done just yet. Let's check in with the story trading folks and see how they're doing. Ben, Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas.
Rhett, oh, look at Rhett, dude. Rhett's like, I will not be outdone. I will show up with a red Santa hat. Let's go, Rhett. Merry Christmas to both of you guys.
Merry
How are you
Christmas,
doing?
Ryan. Merry Christmas.
Thank you. How are you doing, Ryan?
I'm doing really good. Look, I hope you guys have some stuff here. We had a couple of moves right out of the gate, but boy, oh boy, it dried up soon. We're all on Christmas mode. So what do you got for us?
All right. Got a couple big caps that we're looking at, or larger caps, AST and Micron, and a couple smaller caps. And then also we'll talk about the January effect. Today is the day I go to max size position on stocks that I think will have a wonderful 3 weeks. So maybe give a little tease about that as well.
Okay. How about this for a comment here? Story trading is the best Discord out there.
Love it. Thank
and
you.
JB Trader account with the Bears logo. Bear down, baby. All right. I'm going to leave on a high note here.
All right.
Gentlemen, have a good one. I'll be back in a half hour.
All right, great. All right, so let's look at ASTS first. First, I guess quick macro, Rhett. It's end of the year. I'm not paying much heed to the economic data like GDP that came out yesterday and jobs data this morning. I think the seasonality is going to reign over here at least till year end between Santa Rally and January effect. I am concerned about a sell-off in QQQ SPY on January 2nd, just due to tax deferral behaviors, maybe even more so. Look at SPY. SPY is crushing QQQ. What do you look at that? Wow, that's very interesting rotation out of the AI trade into other big caps, which I hadn't even noticed until right now. So, yeah, you could see, the January effect trade is driven by tax harvesting and stocks that are selling off in November, December that bounce back in January. And then in a great year like this, you could have tax deferral behaviors where people don't want to sell their winners until the first day of January. I've seen it before where right in pre-market with no news on January 2nd, like the market was down like 1.5%. I forgot what year it was, but it was so pronounced and there was no news at all. It did happen to bounce back quickly there on that day. But I'm sure there are a cohort of folks who are planning on selling billions of dollars of stock on January 2nd and not today. So because of that, on December 31st, if that's a trading day, let me see, December 31st is a Wednesday, half day, I think. So on December 31st, I'll probably be buying some protective puts on SPY or QQQ. But other than that, I'm really bullish for the January effect. We're getting some mixed data, economic data in terms of, hey, are we going to get those interest rate cuts or not? 10-year yield has been bouncing around up here. Bitcoin's been not behaving the way we want. But Bitcoin, however, there is no wash sale rule on Bitcoin. So you could sell Bitcoin all the way till the end of the year and get that tax benefit, unlike equities where technically you could sell to the end of the year. But the difference is if you sell Bitcoin, you can wait till December 31st, take your tax loss on Bitcoin, 5 minutes later, buy it back, and without missing a beat, you still have your exposure, but you get the tax loss benefit. So you could have continued pressure on Bitcoin right up until December 31st, whereas with individual stocks, you have to wait 30 days after tax harvesting to buy it back. So because of that dynamic, the bulk of the tax loss selling on those 2025 losers happens from like late November, mid to late November into now, late December, but then you get relief usually around now. All right, because most of the people are planning because they wanted to buy back their stocks before year end. They have to wait 30 days. So most of the tax loss selling has already occurred, and you can start seeing some positive action in PayPal's one example. I'll just throw that up, Brett. We came up with about 10 tier 1 picks and 5 or 6 tier 2 picks for the January effect. This is not our top tier 1 pick. It's just one of them. My favorite one, I'm not going to give you here, but PayPal, one of them, has had recent really good news. But it keeps getting down, a shot down because of tax loss selling. Not my favorite one because there is also a little bit of negative news from the last earnings call and comments some CFO made about weakness in the consumer. But all in all, you weigh the positive and negative catalysts, and there's been a number of really positive catalysts, especially with AI partnerships and stuff. That maybe we can get a January effect thing in this going. So I added to some call options today on PayPal. All right. That's like a high level review, Rhett, of the macro and, kind of January effect. I always like to
Since
buy
we're on this topic, Ben, there's a great question coming from someone. They're asking, what do you think about gold and silver going into January? You want to touch base on that really quick?
I can't. I'm not an expert in gold and silver. I've missed, to be honest, I've missed most of this move. I have gold in my retirement account that I've held the whole way, but not a huge position. And silver, I completely missed because I've been hearing about this, impending short squeeze for 30 years and how it's artificially held down by who was it, JP Morgan, I don't know, some bank holding it down, and there's no real physical. I've been hearing this for 30 years, and who knew this was the year the rumors were actually right. So I don't know what to tell you about this stuff. Like I just can't chase it. It's like vertical line up. It's crazy. Maybe this is one of those examples where you do have tax deferral. This might be a great example. You know what? Now that you mention it, I'm going to take a note. Silver puts. I have to check if silver and silver futures, do they have a wash sale rule, or is that treated like Bitcoin? I'm not sure, but maybe you get, well, that'll be more for tax harvesting. This is not tax harvesting. This would be tax deferral. So the wash sale rule doesn't really matter here. So who knows? Maybe part of this vertical up, even though with the RSI up in the 88 zone, maybe people are holding on to their silver and gold until January 2nd. You see a big flush down. Yeah, nice for bringing that up. Maybe I'll get some silver puts to protect my longs into the beginning of the year. That's my thought on that, Rhett. Okay.
Nice. And then someone's asking our thoughts on SNES.
SNES is a potential January effect play. All right. You have tax loss selling happening here. If you look at this daily chart, you go back to see what's the average price people have been buying this stock. You go to right about around here. We throw on this indicator, which kind of gives you an idea what the average purchase price is for folks in 2025. And you take these big volume bars. It's probably right in the center. Average purchase price probably around 360 or so. Stocks at 230. So probably a victim of tax loss selling here. I like the valuation, market cap just 12 million with optionality upside on a lot of big things they're working on. So I do like SNES as a stock that could see appreciable price movement between now and mid-January. I wouldn't be surprised to see this make a move to the 20 or even the 50 DMA. So 260 to 290 possible. Part of the January effect also is that it's not just about tax loss selling. We're also looking at catalysts, sentiment, and fundamentals. So I only like to get stocks where I like the fundamentals and there's either recent or upcoming catalysts. One of the interesting things about this time of the year, especially in smaller caps, is that you tend to get a lot of press releases in the first week of the year because of either new deal announcements or deals that were previously made that are deployed, like product launches in the first week of the year. January 2nd, January 3rd, they're putting these press releases out. You get shareholder letters coming out, like all kinds of press releases that can act as catalysts to get that oversold condition going, right? You're oversold. It's trading at an attractive fund. You're oversold because of tax law selling, trading at an attractive fundamental valuation, and then you get the catalyst that's a spark. You also have the positive sentiment of a new year, right? And you're going to see this, and this is part of why you get the Santa rally also, because it's Christmas time, people are in a good mood, and it's also the new year where people have turning over a new leaf, and it's New Year's resolutions, and especially folks that how you make a New Year's resolution for yourself, right? This year's going to be great. I'm going to start exercising every day. That psychology bleeds into the psychology of your favorite stock, right? Say your favorite stock is Sinestec, and you're like, okay, well, it happened to have a great year, but let's say whatever, pick another stock that didn't have a great year, right? And you're like, okay, this is my favorite Chico, and I'm so positive about this company. This is the year it's going to go up. I'm feeling in a great mood. I'm going to take a little bit of extra risk on this year in my favorite company because they're going to turn over a new leaf in 2026. So you get like the convergence of these four pillars of story trading, which is catalyst, sentiment, fundamentals, and technicals, all coming together to create a perfect storm, a perfect setup to time markets precisely over a 3-week period from today through January 15th. And last year, my account, which follows our Discord trade ideas, in January was up 75%, mostly due to the January effect ideas. And you remember our top pick, TMDX. In fact, I'll pull up. This is a beautiful January effect last year on TMDX. I showed the chart to our Discord last night. I think it was right in here. Okay. Look, from December 31st, from New Year's Eve, this thing went up 40% in 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and I didn't even have a catalyst from what I remember in 5 days, purely because of tax law selling and people who are selling back here in November and December, getting back in, starting on New Year's Eve into the first 5 days of the year. That was crazy. We were in call options, and I like to play the January effect with call options because we're timing things precisely. So, how much were those call options up, Rhett? I thought it was 1,000%, but I think you said it was even higher.
It was over 2,000. It was like 2,400 is where they topped out at.
Holy crap! I probably sold on the way up. I don't think I held all of them, but I remember holding a big chunk because once it broke the 20, my target was the 50, and I was like, actually, this is one of my biggest winners in the first half of the year was TMDX call options because I'm like, it's going to the 50, guys. It's going to the 50, and I got there in like 4 or 5 days. It was beautiful. So that's January effect. So I'm pumped about today in general in terms of planting the seeds and for those opportunities coming up in the next 2 to 3 weeks. Now, today, however, challenging on our top pick of the day. We've been nailing it on our top pick of the day multiple days in a row. ASTS, we had you had the run up into the event, the launch, obvious that you could have sell the news. However, I went on a limb and I said the sell the news would be overwhelmed by long-term investors increasing their position. So I thought where you might have a sell-off in the first hour, it'll be overwhelmed and then basically turn green, and that hasn't turned out. In the morning, it looked like I was right. I got a big common share position, sold a little bit on this pop, but not enough. And then after this initial drop, Rhett, I'm like, all right, that's the extent of the sell the news right here at about 88. I thought right there, I thought that's a sell the news, and I got into call options, and ASTS has not worked out today. First day in quite a while. Our number one pick of the day hasn't worked out. I still think, I still would not be surprised. The candle looks ugly here, but I've seen it all, and I'm sticking with. On the morning note, I had actually said my target's 95 to 103 plus. I think I said by Monday, or did I say by the end of this week? If it's end of, no, I said end of this week. I said end of this week, which means just one more trading day. That's a stretch now. That's a stretch. But I still think in the near term, we're going to see 95 to 103 plus. Maybe at this point, it's going to take another week or so, or maybe we have to get the data. Do you have any idea how long it takes for them to unfurl that satellite? Because that'll be a big catalyst.
No, I think actually is when they'll start like using it. Is when the
but that's going to be such a drip bleed of information. because I remember on their last the last satellite, their smaller ones or whatever, it was really opaque and it wasn't clear. You know, the real catalyst then became months later when they did the test with Vodafone, if you remember, and we were like
Yep.
all over that. We made a ton of money on that Vodafone demo. But in terms of you know, testing and the data's working and this and that, it was just a drip, drip, drip of information over months. So it wasn't like a clear catalyst. So I think the next clear catalyst will be them tweeting out, you know, we're in communications with our satellite, everything's okay, and the solar arrays are fully unfurled. That's the next catalyst. You're right that the full communication, but that might be a couple months away when they do some sort of demo with the new, you know, the satellite up, or they reach some other milestone in terms of, you know, maybe because of this, maybe like AT&T basically puts out a timeline to say, okay, we're going to start offering, you know, coverage on such and such a date because the satellite's now up. But you're talking catalysts that are still a couple months away, I think. So the next possible near-term catalyst would be that the solar arrays are unfurled, the wings. But this is one I got wrong so far for today, and so I'm down on it. So that's that. Micron has been a huge winner for me this month. I you know, been predicting this for over a year that Micron would kind of be the best way to play AI and would be the next NVIDIA. I've been very bullish memory for over a year, putting that thesis out there. And coming into this earnings report, I was especially bullish on this earnings report because of the pressure I've been seeing on memory, both in terms of pricing the last several months, but also in terms of usage of the AI chatbots and just my own usage. I've been observing with the speed enhancements they've been making, with the feature enhancements they've been putting out there, that all of these things has put an acute need for much higher memory. And that was my thesis going into this Micron earnings report. I did swing some call options into the earnings report, which are now up like 450%. They expired January 2nd, 250 call options. So Micron's been a big winner. It's now one of my largest positions in my retirement account. I just noted some pre-market strength in Micron. I grabbed some calls all live on our show this morning, which did pretty well. But then I subsequently got chopped up in some common shares. We'll see. I'm back in the common. I like the 5-minute chart here last I looked. So maybe Micron can continue to outperform today into Friday. So those are two larger caps on the top of my watch list here today, Rhett. But I got some small caps that are pretty interesting here to look at. So SOC made a killing on SOC this month, both on this day, December 18th, and this day, December 23rd. That nice catalyst. This is a offshore oil pipeline company, offshore California, that's been having trouble with regulation. California doesn't really want them to, giving them a hard time getting their licenses and operations and everything. But a couple things happened on December 18th. Court ruled that the jurisdiction is federal, not state. It's an interstate pipeline and it's active, and that means the Trump administration can maybe finally help them and kind of overrule some stuff going on with California and Newsom. So you got that big gap up, and then a few days later, yesterday morning, you get another catalyst saying from the I forgot which board, some government agency, saying that they can reactivate some pipeline. I think that was probably pursuant to the previous ruling. So big move on that yesterday. So I've been actively trading SOC, buying the dips, selling the rips, not too aggressively, mostly buying the dips around the core. My next target yesterday, our target was 950 to 10, which we hit for the day. And I gave a swing target of 10 to 12. Actually, now I have a swing target of 10 to 13. So here under 10, I think it's a great buy. Would not be surprised to see 10 to 13 here in the next few trading sessions on SOC. So that's something I'm aggressively trading right now is SOC. Oops, and now Micron just shit the bed on my common shares. So man, I misplayed Micron. Now I'm down on Micron for the day. Anyway, just on that one candle, probably. Okay. Anyway, let's see. So another one, which wow, I've been all over this IMRX story for a couple years, and it is time for IMRX again. Now we gave the heads up to our community just in time to get this big move. All right, but it may not be over at all. Okay, so what happened here? The reason we re-entered this stock before this move was because they put out a press release. In fact, it's a weird way. It didn't move right away, but here, let me get the date on this because it was December 17th, and you can see here. So they had great news on December 17th. So we've been in it. And that great news was that, hey, they're going to start phase 3 for pancreatic cancer. And they have great results so far through their phase 2A study for pancreatic cancer. And they had their end of phase 2 meeting with the FDA. And they basically said they've okayed the phase 3 trial. We're starting the phase 3 trial like mid-year with so-and-so amount of patients. And this is going to be our endpoint, overall survival. And importantly in that press release, and they said, and we will give you our 1-year survival data update in the next few weeks. So lots of great catalysts on December 17th. And I was in it. I'm like, it's not moving. Every day on the Discord, I'm like, don't worry, folks, it's going to move. Don't worry, folks, it's going to move. It finally moved when they issued a press release giving us the precise date of when they will issue their 1-year overall survival data on pancreatic cancer, which is going to be January 7th. So that came out yesterday morning, or was it the night before after hours? I don't remember, but you can see you have 2 very strong candles here on IMRX because of this. IMRX is so cheap, it's ridiculous. This stock, based on the data they have and based on phase 3 and based on their big cash hoard and the Sanofi investment, this thing is probably a $15 to $20 stock. The only reason it isn't is because of the behavior of biotech investors, where it's all around events and it's all about events de-risking things. So, right now with the event coming up, this is a very common thing in biotech. Everyone's piling in for the event coming up. So this is a very important data readout. I'll talk about it in a second. But just that behavior of, hey, if data readouts coming up, like this thing might see over 776 in the next 5 to 7 trading days. Might see at least over $1. Do you see this run up over here, Rhett? You see this? This run up from 375 to it doubled. This thing went up over 100% in a similar scenario where it was, hey, we're releasing data in first week of September, and then the thing just exploded 100% in anticipation. The data was great. It went up more, and then they did an offering at like $9 or something with Sanofi participated in. And then for whatever reason, it shit the bed, I guess, because they just want they're just like catalyst traders. I don't know, these biotech investors. And now you have the next catalyst. So this is a very, very important readout, which can cause the stock to go up 50 to 100% in a day. I would say closer to 70 to 100% in a day. And I think based on all available data, I'm feeling very confident that data readout will be excellent. This is going to be 1-year survivability data, overall survival data for IMRX for pancreatic patients. The 3, 6, 9-month data is beating all the competition, beating everything that's available on the market. This is pancreatic. They've cured one person, and there's another one that's on pace to get cured. They shrunk the tumor enough to be cured with surgery. And there's another patient that was almost, the tumor is completely gone, and we'll see maybe on the 1-year survival data that's coming up. We'll get an update on that patient. So, this data is unheard of. There is one competitor out there with similar data, but not as good, and the tolerability is not as good. That's in phase 3 trials already. Okay. But
Ben, they're asking when the data is again.
January 7th. So you're talking about like $150 million enterprise value with plenty of cash for the phase 3 trial. So dilution's not a concern. This is just a crazy setup here. And there's always risk going into an event. But that's what everyone's waiting for. They're waiting for this 1-year survivability data. The market has said and decided that we don't care that FDA approved your phase 3. If your survivability data at 1 year is bad, then you'll be like a zombie phase 3, and we're going to pretend your company's worthless. That's what the market's telling you. All right. But the risk reward is so good here. If the data is good, you're talking about an immediate 1-day move to $10 to $20. That's why you're starting to see this event anticipation move. And again, next target 770. And again, based on all available data to date and how the trend was in terms of survivability, 3, 6 to 9 months, I expect the 12-month data to be good enough to cause that stock to explode. But you never know. It's a risk. It's a binary event. And we know what to look for in terms of what data will be good, what would not. So we'll be all over that in our Discord to give the signal to folks if, to buy more, to sell. And obviously part of the strategy here is to get enough of a position now to sell by January 6th, right? If this thing moves 30, 40, 50%, you can sell a lot of your position, pocket some gains, and then just carry a smaller position into the event, or a call option position into the event. So IMRX, very excited for that one. Keep that on your radar. These are like the top 4 stocks I'm looking at today. It's ASTS, MU, then SOC, and IMRX.
Another event we should pay close attention to that's going to be at the end of the year is with SoftBank. SoftBank has to close the $22.5 billion deal with OpenAI, and that's why they sold their entire stake in NVIDIA. They're still scrambling to get the rest of the money, and if they don't, they lose that valuation at that deal of, I think it's $300 billion with OpenAI.
Really?
So that's why they've been scrambling, selling all their assets. They took out, I forgot, I think it was against ARM. I think it was a loan they took out against ARM. They sold all their Verizon. They sold all their NVIDIA.
So this is a deal they previously agreed to, and now they have to come up with the cash. I'm not so familiar with this story.
Correct. Yep. That's why they've been scrambling.
And what is it? 30 billion, you said?
Yeah, I think it's 22 or 30 billion. Those two numbers keep circulating. Ryan, I know you're in the background. If you know the better details, then feel free to hop on and chime in on that. But yeah, so that's why. So they're scrambling, and I mean, you're seeing a lot of these companies putting their eggs all into one basket. They did this before with Alibaba. They turned 20 million into 60 billion.
Whoa!
He bet big again, and then he lost on WeWork 13 billion. So let's see if history. It's about
this
50,
will be
50.
very interesting, because I happen to have a big position in private shares of OpenAI that I got at a 125 billion valuation, lower than SoftBank. And unfortunately, it's not liquid, and I can't sell it for 2 years. Maybe another year is left or something. 13 months before the lockup's finished. But I'm kind of shaking on my boots a little bit, because look, at the time it was only ChatGPT out there, and I loved it, and I still love it, and I use it every day. Then Google Gemini came out, and the drumbeat and the consensus on X is just so crazy that, like, I mean, you can hardly find one singular person or X account that's bullish on OpenAI. It's just insane. And I've come up with a term for it called SADS, which is Sam Altman derangement syndrome, right? So Sam Altman derangement syndrome on X, because they have such a bias against this man that they see everything in terms of the product through a negative lens. And I hope they're wrong. I have a vested interest in this. I still think ChatGPT is superior to Gemini in many, many ways, and I talk about it in my Discord all the time. I still mostly rely on ChatGPT to help with stock analysis and price predictions. Does a much, much, much better job than Gemini. Gemini is just too quantitatively stupid. It's like a robot. Gemini is just like numbers, and people love that. Like quantitatively oriented people on X, they're like, this is great. This is like a formal, like, why is ChatGPT so conversational, and they have bolds and this, and it's too talkative. And dude, that's part of the magic of ChatGPT, is that it's more human, much more human than Gemini, and it understands human psychology much better, understands trader psychology much better. It really works well with how we trade, because we look at stocks holistically, looking at catalysts, sentiment, fundamentals, and technicals all together at the same time. If you go do an analysis, and try this, because almost every single time ChatGPT is crushing Gemini when I ask it, hey, here's a recent catalyst. Figure out what the re-rating, how high could it go today based on the catalyst and fundamentals, etc. Right? Gemini is always off the mark, because Gemini is strictly quantitative, and it looks great, and all the experts and all the academics on X like it, because here's this formal research report, and it looks so beautiful, and it's so like organized, and it's written like a professional. But that's not, the stocks don't work like that. Stocks work on psychology and sentiment, and Gemini can't put it all together. ChatGPT can. It's so human. It's ridiculous. And it understands human psychology. It understands trading and investor psychology. And it comes in with these price targets for the day and re-rating targets for the day, which are, more how I approach things from a story trading perspective. And it's much more accurate than Gemini. So overall, I think Gemini just does a much better job of incorporating things holistically and being an assistant, right? So ChatGPT is like this kind of AI assistant whereas like Gemini is like this quantitative workhorse. You know, like I'm using both of them, but basically all the prognostications, is that the word? All the predictions on X that ChatGPT is dead, they have no moat, Gemini's so much better. Like I think they're all drinking the Kool-Aid, and they're all kind of too narrowly focused, and they're just not. They're kind of dumb, you know. Like the world doesn't work like that. It's not like whoever has the best quantitative model is gonna beat the competition. It doesn't work like that, man. So I hope SoftBank is doing the right thing here. Actually, OpenAI is my biggest investment ever. Unfortunately, in a way, because I thought when I bought the stock, I thought I had a 1-year lockup, and I was whatever miscommunication with the fund that I bought in through, but it ends up it was a 2-year lockup, so it's not really liquid at all. So it's a bit at this point, it's like a binary bet. Like it doesn't matter. Like
2027 though, right? Lockup or
something like that. You know, I don't know exact date, but you know, it's OpenAI has a right of first refusal for like any of these shares that they sell in the private market. They have a right of first refusal, and they can buy your shares at like a 97% discount if you try to sell it to someone else. So you have to wait for that 2-year period to end. And so it's like, yeah, on paper, it looks like I'm up huge because it says I bought in at 125 billion, and then the market values or whatever they are at now, like 500 to 700 billion. But it means nothing because it's basically a binary bet because of the lockup. So I hope that SoftBank is making the right bet here, and they're right. But it just irks me so much how like this groupthink and this consensus think on X is just so stupid. It's just so off. Like, are you guys? You're really stock trader? Like, how many years have you been trading stocks that you think the whole world works just strictly quantitatively, strictly, model performance? Like, that's not how stocks work. It's not how the world works. I mean, there's first mover advantage. There's brand moat. The people don't understand brand moat. I mean, there's so many qualitative factors, and I put it out there, Ryan, that everyone on X has SADS, Sam Altman derangement syndrome.
Everyone? I mean, I'm on X. I don't have that.
Almost every. I mean, all the experts who have any kind of followers or they think they're some sort of expert on AI. They all have Sam Altman derangement syndrome.
Yeah, what I have noticed on X is that when something new enters the zeitgeist, whether it's AI, something political or otherwise, everyone becomes an expert all of a sudden. It's crazy how that works too. It's absolutely wild. Guys, look, I just want to say Merry Christmas. Really good stuff.
Thank you. You too.
Good stuff for 2025. Look forward to working with you guys here in 2026. But first, enjoy your holiday and enjoy your New Year's.
Thank you.
Thank you. You got any plans, Ryan?
New Year's as well.
So my plans are always the same around the holidays. I hang out with friends and family. I'm going to visit the golf simulator a whole bunch here in Chicago because there's snow everywhere. And I watch an absolute ton of sports. So I will, game, I will probably be watching it. I'm not really traveling anywhere. I'm going to see a bunch of people, and I'm going to not be locked into my computer for 8-10 hours a day. It's going to be awesome.
There you go. Enjoy. Sweet. Awesome.
All right, guys, really good stuff here today. Take care. As mentioned, have a wonderful holiday. We'll catch up with you next year. Okay.
All right. Take care.
Take care.
All right. Bye.
It's Ben and Rhett from Story Trading. Really good stuff from them. Love that Rhett showed up in a Santa hat. Just great, tough energy right there. I love it. Hopefully you guys have a wonderful, guys and gals, hope you have a wonderful Christmas here and finish to your holiday season. We will be back on Friday, but if we don't see you on Friday, have a wonderful New Year's as well, as we will not be having our morning show next week. Stay green, stay safe, stay focused. Happy holidays and Merry